Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Get Lifted. 30 is the new 20. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Click the notification bell so you're notified the next time we post or go live. And make sure you pull up to the Black Wall Street event this Saturday, the 15th, New Haven Green, from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'm La Jefa.
I'm Smiley Jizzle. Yeah. It's been an all okay weekend. It's been hot. Yesterday they had the Puerto Rican parade, or I don't know, festival or whatever. So it was a lot of Spanish people um, downtown. There was a lot of scooters. I don't know. That must be the thing now. All the Spanish people get scooters, and they just be riding their scooters all over the place in groups. Like it'd be like lit. It'd be like a whole gang of them riding on scooters. I'd be like, yo, what is going on? What is this? And it looks like a motorcycle game, but it's a motor scooter game. It's kind of funny when you think about it because like scooters are like boneless motorcycles. I don't know. It's just I don't know. They're cool, I guess. Cruise around. But anyway, it was deep. So that was going on. Still trying to, make sure that everything's ready because I don't know um, what things they're gonna supply us at our tent. So I'm trying to make sure that I have everything. So when people do come and pull up, like it's professional. You know what I mean? And you guys get a feel. You guys can talk. You guys can go live. Whatever. So yeah, it's gonna be an awesome event. They've been doing a lot of things to lead up to this event. They've had like artists come out and perform. They have like pre-performances. All these different events that they're having at the Green prior to that, hosted by people that are a part of this event. So it looks like they're really gonna do a good job. Also Friday, we're gonna have Timmy. He's gonna be at I think one word. So he's gonna be having a little concert. Yeah, some people that are gonna be vendors in Black Wall Street. In this city. And they have a band. Yeah. Somebody was yeah, it was like on City Hall, like right I mean it's lit. People out there, you know what I mean? It's a free concert, you just come here, enjoy yourself. You ain't got nothing else to do. Something to do, yeah, something to
Has anybody done that challenge? The rock, paper, scissors, and they stuff their face? Or, well, the African, they was different. They don't do rock, paper, scissors. They have to stand, a bunch of people stand in line. And then they I don't know, they was playing, they were trying, no, they were trying to throw, they had to bounce the ball into the bucket, like bounce the
Oh,
ball.
yeah.
And if it go in the bucket, then it be until the next person bounces.
Or the calibration game.
Yeah, they had rice and chicken and soup. And
I'm not serious.
no, it's not actually, they call it that, but I didn't know what it was.
I don't know. Whatever the one I played, everybody was using the same board. Like I'm not. Like I'm
No,
not.
they had different this was for the Africans. They had different spoons for everybody, and then he had individual drinks. So like you get water or soda, that was all there. So it would be a separate. But usually, yeah, with the rock paper scissors, or the American version.
Relay,
So
relay,
how you running
relay
with your
mukbang.
mouth full of with your mouth
Relay
full of
mukbang.
food, like
We got all these challenges be kind of crazy. We do have a showrunner today. We'll talk about. It is about. I've been watching a lot of stuff about teachers lately. So we are going to talk about the teacher, and we're going to deep dive into that situation. I'd like to create a poll for you guys to see if I can do that. Because
you put it in the middle, so I had to do that. The ash. I'm giving you this one. I mean, I turned it, but it's not even on. That's why it's not on. Yeah.
But yeah, this teacher, he was this really student that he threw a basketball at him. They didn't show that part of the video, but he threw a basketball at the teacher or something like that. I guess the teacher may have confiscated it, whatever. Like it was just crazy. So then, right. So then after all of that, then the student decides he's gonna get in the teacher's face, call him the N word several times, and the teacher had enough. He had the eraser in his hand, just getting the eraser. And just, just what happened. I don't know, should I put the link?
Yeah, I didn't play the clip.
I'll play.
Yeah.
There's mad teachers that's out here beating up kids.
And that's exactly why, or one of the reasons why my people I haven't. Why we're like people with students, and it wasn't enough time to have. My kid is bad. My kid is bad. So it would be okay for that predicament.
I mean, if the kids behave themselves, kind of like it's crazy that you gotta say that. Like, well, like these kids is like crazy. These kids is different. He did, but these kids, like, okay, like honestly, like I've been in the classroom. I know, like I've been one of the kids. Like, it leads up to the teacher reacting the way that they reacted, and I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm not saying that, but two things can't be right. That child was like completely out of line. Like it had
But you gotta realize the profession that
but you don't know how long that's been going on. Is what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm saying. If it's something that just happened that day, got I think the teacher is cool. But what I'm saying is that even still, there's still other things to weigh in, which could contrast with my belief of the situation. I still stand that the teacher is wrong, but you don't know how long this child has been carrying on like this. You don't know like what the kid did prior to the beginning of this video. You don't know like the kid threw a basketball at the teacher. He probably almost hit the basketball teacher. The teacher was already afraid of his life, so he probably was like, "Yo, let me get him before he get me." Type. That's kind of how I looked at it. Because the teacher, when he hit me, looked like he was scared of the student. If you could tell, like being in fight, you could tell somebody like kind of scared. The teacher looked like he was a little, you know what I mean, afraid of that student and didn't want it to come to that, but it came to it. So yeah, the teacher was definitely wrong. I was showing on the screen, but he beat him with a eraser. What is that? Is that an eraser? You gotta keep that teacher away from the kid. Now you chasing after the kid. You run away. So yeah, that fan is done loud. All right, but yeah, that's what it was. So I don't know. The kid got beat with a damn.
Got jacked up by the teacher.
No. What the fuck was that? A fucking eraser, chalkboard eraser. So he took it easy on him, type, like, you know what I mean, because he gave him the eraser, but it looked vicious. It looked worse than it was.
Yeah, it wasn't. He didn't beat but we gave him a beat sit down.
I don't know, man. These situation like this is crazy. That's me. Oh yeah, you could click the link. All right, bet. I shared the link in there. Y'all want to check out the video that I just played. Um, teacher, the teacher is crazy.
Yeah, because
Mr. Riley, you don't play with Mr. Riley class. You
yeah,
don't play.
because in the
Joe Clark.
video it seems like the child was acting up, but the first in from the video, the first physical contact came from the teacher. So I think he should have held his composure. He should have called the office, or maybe he did, because it seemed like somebody came into the classroom to get somebody tried to break it up, like an older.
Yeah, it was a security guard. The lady with a security vest on came in.
Yeah, so maybe he did call the office and they just hadn't got there yet.
The kid got a little bit of space. The link is in the chat. But the security guard lady, she came, but she really wasn't no help.
I mean, yeah, it's a lady.
Yeah, let's start with this.
So what you expect? A lady, that's a man's job.
She's doing the job. She should be able to do the job.
I don't know why you women, and this is a little off topic, but I mean, to each his own. If you're able, we have free will. Well, it's limited, but we have some level of free will. So women are allowed to work the same jobs as men if they choose to. But I just feel like, why you want to be a security guard as a woman? Like, and then you try to break up two men. It's but still, it's still like they need to have. I don't know. I don't want to sound like it's a job, but I think jobs like that, like a fireman, policeman, things like that, will be better equipped if a man did it. It don't even sound right saying police woman or because that's what the word is. I never heard nobody up until a certain point. Then when um when they wanted equal rights and everything, or when they started this movement, the feminists or whatever, then they started saying woman this and woman that. But I feel like people always said policeman, fireman. Like it don't even sound right. And I don't want, if I call the cops, I want a man to come. Because what you gonna do? Like, I mean, I guess if you got a gun.
What you gonna do besides catch an attitude?
And get on my nerves too.
She might be with it. Yeah, she ain't playing. Well, the female teacher, there's a female teacher incident too.
Homeschool your kids if you have the ability. If you could afford a tutor, like you could teach them up to a certain point when they little, and then get a tutor and have them homeschool, because these teachers bugging and the kids need more time with their parents anyway. So if you're able to do it, I think that's the best bet. You gotta worry about if it's not the teachers putting their hands on the students, then you gotta worry about the teachers sleeping with the students or assaulting them. Essay. So it's just ridiculous. But what do y'all think? Do you think the teacher should have showed more restraint, or do you think the kid deserved the teacher to put them paws on him, or put that chalk, that eraser on him? What do you think,
Smiley? So I think the teacher was wrong. Like, you know what I mean? It's not his job to teach those kids manners, I guess. It's the parents' job. But I do believe that the teacher should have practiced more restraint. Like, I mean, that was crazy. Like, just seeing that video was crazy. Like, imagine somebody child, you in that school or whatever. Yeah, your child go to that school or whatever, and you know that there's a teacher that's gonna put their hands on your kid. That's completely unacceptable. There's nothing that warrants them putting their hands on your child unless your child puts their hands on them. Then they gotta defend themselves. But I'm saying from my perspective, not like lawfully. You know what I mean? Um, and I still would feel some type of way if my kid put their hands on you and you know what I mean, you ain't come get me or whatever, you know what I mean? But that's the only thing. This was like the teacher was the aggressor, you know what I mean? And it looked like I said, it looked like he was a
He
little
had a
afraid,
long day.
you know what I mean? And he was just like whatever, like I don't know. His wife probably, you know what I mean? It could be all types of stuff going on with dude. I don't know, but I think that was crazy. Like he he showed no restraint, and that's scary. That's like you send your kid to school. Like say for instance, say your kid do curse at a teacher or something, because your kid rude. Now you know your kid go to school, but maybe they cursed at your teacher because the teacher did something for your kid to curse at, because your kid know better than to curse at the teacher. But the teacher called your kid a racial something, but just didn't, say it right out. Like they didn't say the N word, but they said, you know, they called him a jigaboo or something. You know what I mean? And it was like an old school teacher, right? Because that's a that's an old school Jim Crow type of term. You feel me? So if they did that, that that would have been different. You know what I mean? My kid said something crazy to him or whatever. But the words shouldn't make a person do something. And my kid would know that, okay, you fight fire with fire. If somebody says something to you that's crazy, then you say something crazy back. But there's going to be consequences for your actions. If you're not supposed to do these things and you do it, then there's going to be a consequence that comes with that. But if what you're doing is justified, because I want my child to think freely for themselves and consciously know that they're doing the right thing, because I don't want them to question it. I don't want them to have, any equivocations as to whether or not what they're doing is right or wrong. I want them to be prepared.
Be prepared. That's from the Lion King, guys.
But so let me give you more context if you didn't watch the video that's in the chat. And like and share, please, if you don't mind. It's free. The video from the classroom showed Riley confronting a student. That's the teacher's name. The teacher's name is Marston Riley. This didn't just happen recently. This was something that happened in 2018. Why are we talking about it now? Just recently, I shared another clip that was very recent. It came on my radar because I was talking about this story of a female teacher who um, confiscated a kid's phone, and the kid grabbed her hair and she dragged the kid all the way to the door. And then there was another incident where another female teacher recently, um, she put a girl in a headlock and she was like on top of her or whatever. Girl screaming for help. I mean, the girl's good, but you know, it was recorded, so it looked a little excessive. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like the young lady behaved poorly. All these kids behaved poorly. But the adults, in my opinion, um, except for the one that kind of like the kid grabbed her hair. I don't know if that was AI because everything AI now. But the kid grabbed her hair. She kind of like pulled the kid with her hair, like showing that black women can't have real hair, no shade. But pulling their hair, and then pulled them to the door and was like, "Get out of my class," or whatever. But I was like, it's kind of crazy.
And then the teacher, yeah, she was wrong. And she mollywopped that teacher.
That little girl.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah. She got on her and she started going sick. That's crazy. See, I don't
She said,
care.
"Go get a security
I feel
guard.
like I don't
Go get
care.
a
Like,
security
yeah,
guard."
I'll handle my kids because they shouldn't be behaving like that. Or they shouldn't put their hands on nobody, you know, unless they're defending themselves or something. But like physically defending themselves, or somebody you feel like somebody about to attack you or they're already attacking you. But like that, that teacher. This is I would still be mad. Like I would want to now is my turn because that's my kid.
Yeah, he
It's
beat that
like
little
you're
boy
a
up.
mama bear.
That was
Like I would want I don't want nobody putting their hands and I don't believe in spankings and whatever. So but that's beyond that because you beat them up. So that's not even I don't know. Like, I mean, but this wasn't really, I wouldn't say he beat him up, but he just hit him a few. But regardless, he shouldn't have put his hands on him. I think like, yeah, you definitely have to practice self control when you're in that type of field because ultimately you're the adult, you're responsible for these people's kids. They're in your care while their parents are working or whatever. So they expect them to come home the way that they left the house. And I get it. Some of these kids are very unruly, but then that goes back to the parents and like, what are you teaching them at home? Because sometimes the kids be acting up, and they do. I've seen clips where the teachers call the parents to let them know that their kid is acting up in school or whatever, and they're like, "What you calling me for? I'm at work. Ain't you the teacher?" But then if the teacher f them up, then you gonna want to fight them or whatever. But they're calling you to let you know, come get your child, come get them under control. Like, and I think kids like that don't act that pose as a risk, they need to be homeschooled. That should be a mandatory thing. If your kid don't know how to behave in school and it's got to the point where like most people would end up having to whoop your child behind or feeling like that's what they need to do. Like if they feel like that's the only option, because like I said, practice self control. But if you feel like you get to that point that if a teacher feel like they get to the point where they gotta put their hands on a student like that, then your child probably they need to be at home because they don't know how to act.
So let me give y'all a little context on the situation. If you didn't click on the link that's in the chat. The video from the classroom showed Riley confronting a student during a uniform dispute. Reports said the student threw a basketball at him and used profanity and racial slurs before the situation became physical. Riley was arrested and initially faced a child abuse charge. The criminal case was later dismissed. Dismissal is not to settle the bigger debate. All right. So I got a couple questions. All right. So I'm asking everybody. We're gonna talk about these questions together. But was Riley acting in self-defense or retaliating?
Who's Riley, the student?
Riley is the teacher. So was Riley acting in self-defense or retaliating?
It was defense, but he didn't put his hands on him from what we saw in the video.
So he was acting
verbally,
in self-defense.
so it should have been
He wasn't
verbal.
retaliating.
It should have been verbal defense. It shouldn't have been physical defense because from what we can see, the child didn't initiate the physical contact. The teacher did. Now there's something else that happened. I'm talking about what was in the video that we actually saw. Because we can't account for.
Well, in the video, I saw a retaliation. Well, no, I didn't even see self-defense because he initiated it.
That's what I said in the video.
But in the report, because the question is, was Riley acting in self-defense or retaliation? Retaliating. I would say retaliating after he threw the basketball at him because he doesn't This kid is getting continuing to tell the kid to leave out the classroom. Now Riley steps forward and initiates, and then he, attacks the child. What? How would I look at that from the video without context? Because the video shows what the video shows. So in court, they're gonna go off the video.
There's a court document that,
Yeah.
or
So in the
the
court document, the charges were dismissed, but it
says that the student threw the ball at him first.
Said he threw a basketball at him.
Well, then that's
but that wasn't in the video.
Was in the video.
So maybe some of what actually happened wasn't in the video, but it was in context. Now, the context is hearsay. The video is legitimate visual evidence. There is no basketball in that video. So we go off of that video, and he in a music classroom. So you would have to have confiscated the basketball, and that would be proof. There have to be other students in the classroom that corroborated. Yes, he did have a basketball. He did throw it at Mr. Riley. He always be acting up in the classroom. Some kids gonna snitch. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say this: I don't think the kids are wrong for telling the truth. If they really like Mr. Riley, Mr. Riley is a really great teacher.
They should advocate.
They should advocate for him.
Because we need good
that be acting
teachers.
Up.
Because
we need some Joe Clarks
and teachers that care. Because there's a lot of teachers that come just like any other profession that just come there to do a job so they can get paid. But the teachers that actually care about the students and try to build a relationship and try to, sometimes help them outside of just teaching, where the parents may be lacking, we gotta acknowledge those teachers, and we need more of those. So we don't want those teachers to lose their job. They're doing that, but you can't be putting your hands on the kid now. Right. Kids attacked, like even throwing a basketball, like he threw the basketball, he didn't black your eye, and kids have done way worse in the teacher didn't do. There was an incident where a student poked the teacher's eye out. Now,
I remember that.
Now that was
a smaller kid too, right?
Yeah, that would. Yeah, and that's the thing too. They were smaller.
Because the context is everything.
But I'm saying I would understand in that situation, unless it was like, I don't remember.
That's what I said.
Unless it was like a mental health.
I didn't even make it age specific. Physical violence would warrant a reaction. I'm saying that if there's anything physical, then I can understand. I'll still probably behave however I'm going to behave, because if it's a 5-year-old and they do something physical to the teacher, I'm still going to feel like, yo, that's a little kid. I'm sure it didn't hurt that much, but getting the context of getting stabbed in the eye, it could just be, reflex reaction or adrenaline, and you'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You hurt the kid. You know what I mean? And you got a piece of scissors hanging out your eye. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, because they know it's a baby and they'll still come to school. There was actually a movie.
Or some people are just.
There was a movie about that.
Or some people are just passive too. They even if they're being attacked or something, they'll just cover up and they won't fight back. Some people's mentality is just that way. They're not the type of person who cause violence to someone else, even if it's to defend themselves. So and that was a female that happened with. There was this teacher when I went to Job Corps, and I'm gonna just say this real quick. There was this teacher that worked at Job Corps, and she was the nicest lady that I ever met in my life up to this day. I never met she never had an attitude. She was always happy every time I seen her. Obviously, I only seen her when I was in school. I didn't go home with her or see her in her personal life. Mm-hmm. But she was never eating. The kids was bad. Some of us the students was bad. What do you mean?
What she do?
She didn't do anything. I'm saying she never. I'm just giving an example of someone that
she has so much restraint.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's people like that. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but
that's what I'm saying, I've personally ever met. I never met nobody else.
There's always the teacher that the deers and shit all come to her door and she fucking all the woodland creatures love her. Yeah, she's like Snow White and shit. Kids give her apples. She got a desk full of apples. Whatever. What I'm saying is that
shout out to Miss Holly.
Shout out to Miss Holly. For this situation, there's something so crazy. There's a movie that they made. I forgot the name of it. We're gonna find out the name of it before we end this because I got ChatGPT. I love her. This
Not
kid
her.
was this
Giving
kid
it
was
a
just having
gender.
the worst day possible. Somebody bullied him or whatever, and then someone uh just massacred his job, right? And then took the kid on a joyride and was just making mayhem all over the place, just making this kid because he wanted this kid to stop being a doormat and live for once. Went to his ex girlfriend and he murked the ex girlfriend and knew oh man, it was just too much. So he went to the teacher that started it all. The teacher that he stabbed in the eye when he was a kid by accident. I guess he's like kicked the football or whatever. It was something crazy, you know, the little football paper thing. I don't know. It was something crazy, and she lost her eye, and she was still a beautiful person, and still embraced him, and still cared about him despite him doing that. And she never could teach again or whatever. And she's like, no, you didn't ruin my life. No. The fact is, I just got tired of doing it. Like it wasn't even about. And I taught for many years after, you know. But that's a movie. That's what I'm saying. Imagine something that extreme happening to somebody, and somebody still just being a beautiful person, and the only thing they love is these kids, and they like these kids are terrible. You know what I mean? But Mr. Riley probably what had a pretty good record, and he's probably still teaching. And that kid is probably in a gang. I don't know. Maybe that kid's doing well. Maybe that kid learned to behave himself and not push
Let's
adults' buttons.
see if there's an update. Because it
Let's
was
ask.
4 years ago.
Let's ask ChatGPT.
Like whatever. You said the charges would drop.
Well, yeah, it was dismissed. So you still want to look it up for update, or who the kid, or
Well, yeah, like what happened
okay.
after? Like how are they doing now? Did they join the game? We don't. We ain't never gonna find out unless they unalive somebody or something. Those be the ones,
Let's do this.
or maybe not. Sometimes kids
Can you? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, thanks.
All right,
What's on your
so
mind?
we're going live right now,
hear him asking Chat GPT
and
how she doing.
I want to ask you if there's any update on Marston Riley's situation. Since the charges were dismissed, is he still currently teaching? And the young man that he had the altercation with in 2018, where is he right now? Currently, is he doing better in life, or has he learned from that situation? Can you expound on that for me?
Let me check that for you. Let me just. All right, so there's no verified public update showing that Marston Riley ever returned to teaching after his case was dismissed. He did give some interviews around 2020 where he described himself as being retired, and nothing credible has surfaced about him going back into a public school classroom. As a student, he was a minor, and his identity and current life aren't documented in reliable sources, so there's no factual way to say where he is or how he's doing. If you're going live, I'd definitely stick to what's documented and just acknowledge that the rest isn't public. That way you're on safe ground.
Thank you for the disclaimer. Appreciate you.
I figured that. I just was curious, but hopefully this boy learned his lesson and he's not going around wreaking havoc. If he graduated and he's doing well, and the teacher retired, so at least he didn't end up in prison. I mean, he didn't do nothing crazy anyway. Uh, where I think if he did get arrested, it wouldn't have been for that long. He didn't actually hurt the boy. So
I mean, being bad is like a gateway drug. Like you start with certain things. You start by being disrespectful. You start by being unruly. Then authority doesn't matter. Then rules don't matter. Then nothing matters. And then you don't matter.
yeah, sometimes, but then sometimes they stop it before. the
depends on the person
reality
and
kicks
the
in
environment.
before they get to some, like it happens at young, and then they don't have to worry about going to prison because they learn they
Like
lesson young.
Fresh.
Because I never watched.
Never watched it. Check out the movie Fresh. 1990.
I know
something.
what it is.
No, I'm
I
telling
didn't.
people. Fresh, 1990, whatever year. I think 94, 96.
And I remember that dude that was Jada Pinkett's baby father. The boy. I seen it, but I didn't pay attention. It wasn't. I wasn't into it. He was the father. He was in jail.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't in Fresh. Samuel Jackson was in it.
Wasn't his father locked up, the little boy?
In Fresh?
Yeah.
Nah. His father was Samuel L. Jackson. He was playing chess with him. He used to play chess with him like every day in the park. And that dude, what's that dude name? The Spanish dude. He always be playing in that stuff. Playing the Spike Lee stuff. Got his name. But him, I hate not remembering people's names. But these are like
Machete.
Mayor. No.
You said a
Not,
Spanish
he
guy.
is a Spanish dude, but not. He's like he looked like he's African American, but he's Spanish.
Mario Van.
No. Oh, what did he play in, man? All right, why am I doing this? Why don't I just just look it up? I hate that I gotta look it up.
The guy from Tales from the Hood. In the doll.
No, he wasn't. No, not him. Yep, I know who you're talking about. No, not him. 1994. No, what was it?
Laz Alonso.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Mm. Here it is. Fresh. Somebody got the DVD. They're trying to sell the DVD.
Who? I mean, you know what? I still have DVDs and CDs. So, because I never got rid of the ones that I had. I do have a DVD player somewhere too, but I don't. It doesn't work. There was like a short, but I just kept it. Might be worth something one day because we don't need no type of player now. You could just all you need is a TV and an internet connection. You can watch what you want. Well, most things anyway. They be trying to block you from that free
So
stream.
Sean Nelson played in it. Okay. The Bush Wright, she played in Blade.
I don't know.
Remember the young
The
African American
dark-skinned
lady
lady?
that played in Blade. She played the doctor in Blade, in first Blade. Ron Bryce, he was Corky. John Claude Lamar, he was Jake B. Wilder.
I thought you
John
were say,
Carlo Esposito.
I thought you were
John
about to,
Carlo Esposito.
I thought you were about to say John Claude Van Damme. I was about to say he was in that too. Oh, I know. Oh, he was in. He was in.
Yeah, that was the girl's boyfriend.
I don't know.
Black
I
girl.
never. I did watch it, but I
It was
don't
a good
remember
movie.
because it used to come on BET all the
Because-
time, but I never paid attention.
Because the boy in the movie, he was so smart because he was living life
He was bad.
like a game of chess. So he was selling drugs,
Yeah,
right?
it was bad. That's what I said.
And making money, putting his money in a little thing and hid it somewhere and wasn't spending it. He rolled up all this money, like thousands of dollars, and had it in a can somewhere way far out of town. So nobody knew near the railroad track. And he had a whole gang and set up the drug dealers that was going against each other and was able to come out on top and get him and his sister put into the witness protection program and a better living because they was about to be homeless. Their aunt was taking care of all of them. Their mother had passed away, and his father was living in a damn hut or something. You know what I mean? And he was supposed to be this ill chess player. Played against all the people he could have beat Bobby Fischer. He said
He would
played
be
against all
playing
the
in the
greats,
park.
playing in the park
Yeah.
on the clock. He said, "Put on the clock. I'll smoke all of them."
Yeah, I see it would come on BT all the time, but I didn't really pay attention. So I'd seen
It's a
bits
good
and pieces
drama.
of it, but I don't remember. And I never wanted to watch it. Like when it would come on at some point, I would turn the channel because that was when I was younger.
It was good. It was a gangster movie.
Yeah, but I was young when it came out.
Oh yeah, so you never thought it was. I don't know. I don't know if you would like it. I liked it, like just like I like Paid in Full or something. You know what I mean? I got
But
that
I was
same
older
feeling.
when that
Yeah.
came out.
Fresh was a decent movie. For me,
Joel
that
Santana.
was like his best movie. Shit.
You said Paid in Full. So
With the
Joel
black
Santana made a song called "Little Boy Fresh," and I think that's what he was talking about. It was like a song rapping about the movie.
That's dope.
Yeah, I like that song. I didn't know what he was talking about, though. But then I seen on a podcast, and they were like, "Yeah," I'm like, "Oh, it's basically like a story, but he's describing the movie."
All right, back to the
Big Boo and Malik. Is that people in the Big Boo and Malik?
Nobody named that. I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe. I don't remember those names.
He said hitting Shorty off because he had love for his sister. His sister would sniff up everything Jose would give her.
That was the part of
Jose was messing with his sister.
That was Giancarlo. Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Who made that song you said?
Joel.
Oh, shout out to Joel. I'm gonna check out that track.
Little Boy Fresh is on What the Game's Been Missing album.
Game's Been Missing album.
What the Game's Been Missing.
What the Game's yeah. That's the one I was listening to. That's the one that Clockwork up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I was listening to. So maybe I did hear that. That's why I would probably listen to that only album. When does self-defense become excessive?
When it's no longer defense and you're now out of danger, but you're continuing to go on. Like if the person is now you're on top, now you're the person that they need to be defended from, and you continue to go on. Like if you unalive the person and it wasn't necessary, or if they've run away from you and you pume them in the back, like that lady that found that boy under the bed.
Self-defense was excessive in that altercation with Mr. Riley?
I think to a degree, but it's like it could have been worse. Yeah.
If the kid just didn't fight back and just says sorry or stop, then the teacher probably would have restrained himself.
I think he could have stopped because the boy only set up because he kept on. After he hit him the first time, the boy backed up and then he hit him a couple more times, and then the boy set up like he was. But it seemed like the boy was scared at that point. Like he just set up because he felt like he had to. So I feel like it was excessive to a degree, but he didn't hurt the boy. But like I said before, like I don't think that.
So then
I don't think that he should have put his hands on.
it probably was excessive at one point because the teacher and there was separation for a significant period of time in the video. So the teacher could have stopped, but the teacher lunged and ran out. Somebody was holding the teacher back. The teacher broke loose and ran at the child again.
That's what I said.
You know what I mean? So I would definitely say, in that case, it became excessive. What level of disrespect should teachers be expected to tolerate? What level of disrespect should teachers be expected to tolerate?
I think that they shouldn't. If the student is being disruptive, then they need to follow protocol for that. So like they need to be called to office and have them escorted out of the room before it escalates into, like, when you see it's becoming a problem or you feel like it's going to become physical, then you need to have them escorted out of the classroom. And you need to control yourself unless you're really in danger and you have no other choice, because that's the responsibility that you take on being a teacher.
Um, yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, you took on being a teacher, so like the the parents' biggest fear is when they're letting their kid leave their house and something happens to them. They got to visit the hospital because somebody went too far. You know, that's not something that a parent looks forward to because I mean, you're probably afraid to let your kid go off that first day of school. You know what I mean? So there's a big fear in that. Hence why, you know, a lot of parents prefer to do homeschooling because of that very reason. You know what I mean? You feel like somebody is going to cross the line. So if you feel like somebody's going to cross the line, then yeah, you're probably going to be afraid to send your kid to school. Should an educator ever physically engage with a student?
Well, I kind of answered that already. Like, unless they're really in danger, like the kid has a weapon or they're like really effing them up, or like, then yes. But if the child has not initiated physical contact, then no, they should follow protocol and have them escorted out of the classroom.
So should an educator ever do it? So the answer is yes.
Only in the situation that I described. If you're in danger, in physical danger.
But then that means that you give them the authority to do so if they have to.
If you're in physical danger, you should defend you. I don't expect nobody to just lay there and just get stomped out, or
but I'm saying in that
just enough to get them off of you. I didn't say unalive them.
I don't want the teacher to be the aggressor.
They're not being the aggressor.
If they're the one who initiates physical contact.
I said no, I don't think that they should initiate it. I said that's not the question that you asked.
Well, the question is, should an educator ever physically engage with a student? The answer is
that's not
yes,
that doesn't say initiate. Yeah, initiate means you started it. I said if you're in danger, meaning they are already attacking you or they have a weapon or something, the student, then yes, I wouldn't expect you to just let somebody unalive you. If they got a pume or something, or a bat, or they picked up a chair or something, or they just beating you and stomping you out, you gonna sit there and wait? No, I don't think in those situations. But I don't unalive them either. If you can help it, get them off of you, detain them, wait for the people. Still, you need to have some level of control. But I don't expect you to just lay there and get. But if there's no physical contact initiated by the student, then call the office and have them escorted out of the classroom.
Right. Okay. I honestly, it's kind of tough to answer that question. You know what I mean? But my honest opinion is, um, when I trust my child, right? If I trust my parenting, so I don't ever think there's an excuse for you to physically touch my child. So I'm gonna say no. I don't think an educator should ever physically engage with a student.
You're not speaking from a parent's perspective, though.
But
You
I'm
asked a
saying, like,
general
for me to
question.
answer
Obviously,
that,
it's gonna be
for
different
me
for
to
every
answer
parent.
that, yeah, I'm never gonna be okay with that. I don't even care. Because I'm gonna be honest, if you touch my kid, we got a problem. Even if my kid hit you, my kid threw something at you, my kid poked you in the eye, I will be upset if you inflict the same level on my child. But then I have to take some responsibility in whatever damages I have to, but I would hate for my kid to be missing an eye because a teacher missed an eye and he was like an eye for an eye. You know what I mean? And it's not okay because the teachers take this risk, which is crazy. These students, it could have been accidental, it could have been whatever, but if my child was a monster like that and just did that, then I have to take accountability of not getting my kid the help that they need and putting them in the proper care. Because if they're in the proper care and they do that, I still don't want you to do it because you're trained for situations just like that, right? So I still would feel some accountability in that situation, the environment, where you are, what type of students you're dealing with, what the risk that you're taking when you take this job. So how far do you take it? So Mr. Riley's not looking too good. And I still feel like that kid was crazy. But the kid was holding his own growing against the man.
Well, I said that before. I said if I'm the parent earlier, I addressed that. But I was speaking just from a business. If I employ you as the board of education or this school that you're working in, I expect, unless that my answer that I just said, that would be what I would go by. If I'm a professional, if I'm the person who's employing you, I want you to have a level of self control.
Absolutely.
But I would understand if you was about to, if they almost about to take your life, I wouldn't expect you to just lay there and just let it happen. But like I said, get them off of you if you can stop right there and hold them until somebody comes.
Yeah. I say this is one that favors the teacher. What responsibility did the student carry for provoking the confrontation? What responsibility did the student carry for provoking the confrontation? Now, this kid is 14 years old. I could still think this kid is terrible, whatever, but I still see that maybe this kid needs a hug. Maybe this kid needs love. Maybe this kid needs compassion. Maybe this kid needs somebody to be there for him. He doesn't have that. And Mr. Riley maybe didn't reach out to him enough because some of these teachers don't care. Maybe Mr. Riley was a teacher who didn't care. Because this kid didn't care about music class. He cared more about basketball. Mr. Riley wants you to pay attention to what he's teaching you in this class. And probably said to this kid, you ain't going to be in the NBA anyway. I seen you out there. You know what I mean? Could have said something discouraging. Stop.
What's your problem, girl?
Could have been several things that led to the altercation, but one thing is for certain, I still see that what happened after was like a stare down. And I never like when these male teachers really did that to students, to stare down. Like, you're not the father, especially if you don't have a father figure. Just call somebody from security to come to the classroom. You know what I mean? You got to be, Mr. Tough Guy. You know what I mean? And that leads to other things. And then you got this kid going back and forth. This kid got his first lesson on what it's like to fight a man. You know what I mean?
And he lucky that it was lucky that it wasn't
right.
It could have been worse.
Could have been a bigger teacher. But that's what I'm saying. I think restraint is important when you have
Not
these
even a bigger teacher.
responsibilities.
He didn't really do much. Like he could have did like that lady did to that girl. She had her on the ground and got on her and was just, I don't know. She was acting like she slept with her man.
Leave that alone.
Nala, why are you acting up? Cut it out.
Um, should Riley have walked away and called security?
Well, he can't leave the classroom unattended. Well, I said that already. He should have tried to de-escalate the situation and called security or called the office and had somebody come or tell him to leave out. Well, I don't know. Wasn't he telling him to get out? He did tell him to get out. But yeah, if he wasn't listening, then you should have had somebody come to escort him. But security, I knew someone that did security and they worked in schools, and they said that they not even supposed to they not even supposed to they can't really do anything. So like I don't know what's the purpose of them being there. Like they can't put their hands on, just like when people steal from the store, the loss prevention, they can't chase them outside or whatever. Once they leave out the store, that's over. Like you can't try to get, and you can't really do nothing. And you could tell them to give the stuff back, but if they don't, you can't like attack the people or do no crazy stuff. Like so they can't do nothing to the kid anyway. So only thing they could is separate them if it was physical. But they gotta be careful even how they do that, how they go about doing that. So I don't know.
Did the complete video change the public's original judgment? Do you think anybody cared about what happened?
I don't know because this is 4 years later. I didn't hear about it when it happened, so I don't
Well,
know how the
you know,
public.
ChatGPT said, you know, the teacher, he just retired. You know what I mean? He still was teaching after. You know what I mean? It didn't really bother him because he retired 2 years later. You know what I mean? That kid probably got suspended or whatever. He still kept his job. Nothing really to say about the kid because he was a minor at the time. That was what, 18? It's 26. So shit, 8 years later. And um, he probably just he a regular dude. He work at McDonald's.
Do we?
Um, did the complete video change? Should teachers receive stronger de-escalation training and classroom support?
Possibly, but I don't know what they're already receiving. So
well, I mean, if he
they're
behaved
not
like that, did you
that
think that was
doesn't mean
you think that looked like
just
professional
because
behavior?
he behaved that way, that doesn't mean that they haven't trained them on that. Just like in any other job, people
He was able to
do
retire,
their
so he
own
was an older teacher.
do their own methods of. He probably never experienced nobody that, and he probably was fed up because in the video he seemed like he had it up to here.
He was tired.
Yeah. So yeah, people do it in any job. Like you train them a certain way, and they start doing stuff a way that's make it easier for them, and that's not the way that they were taught. So you can't just assume that. And I don't know what training do they go through when they go to school. If that is something, I would assume. I feel like if they didn't have it before, that had to been implemented within the last 10 years or something, because so many incidents are coming out of physical altercations between students and kid and their the students, teachers and students. But if they're not receiving it, definitely they should receive the escalation training. And they need to. I feel like if they're not doing mental health evaluations before they hiring these teachers as well. They need to be doing that.
Was the arrest justified?
I mean, the charges are dropped, so they gotta
You think he
arrest
should have
you.
been arrested?
They
though, for that?
gotta arrest you because they don't know what happened until they get to the bottom of it, and
He
they
was
got
going
to the
ham.
bottom of it, and
He's gonna do that boy dirty.
no,
Man, you ain't gonna remember this. You ain't
he
gonna
ain't
remember him.
even.
Chase him down.
Yeah,
hungry.
chase him
He
down,
wanted
but
blood.
he ain't do nothing.
He wanted blood. He was gonna wipe him with the eraser. You think you got me, son? Yeah, that was hilarious. Should Mr. Riley have lost his job even though the criminal case was dismissed? Should he have lost his job? Do you think he should have lost
He
his
lost
job?
his job.
He didn't lose his job. Do you think he
No.
should have? You think that was good? He shouldn't have lost his job?
I already said how I felt about him, so don't revert back to that.
I'm not
This
reversing.
is a
I'm just
separate
asking
question.
you the question. Yeah, it's a
You
separate
said,
question.
was it good? Was what good?
No, I said the question is.
No, but you said you think it's good. I answered the question, and then you said, so it's good. That's, what do you mean?
Yeah, no, that's because you said no, right?
No, he shouldn't have lost his job.
Oh, okay.
And I said how I felt about him doing that and how he should have reacted. But those are two different questions.
I think he should have lost his job.
You think he should?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You behaved poorly.
I think he should have.
If you would have put him in a headlock, if you would have put him in a headlock, then I would have been like, all right, nah, he was throwing blows at this kid. So no.
That teacher, either he can't fight or he was.
It don't matter.
Or he was holding back.
He tried.
Because no.
That little boy got squabbles. That little boy got squabbles. That little boy got squabbles, son.
He didn't.
You know what I mean? He got squabbles.
He only set up.
Cat Williams, that nigga.
No.
He Cat Williams.
I don't know
nigga,
what.
Man.
We must have watched a different
She walked
video.
away when I said cat. He Cat Williams though. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that teacher, if he was stronger than that young man, he could have just restrained him. Like I told you, like put his hand on his head, like humbled him. Like he ain't going nowhere. But he ain't do that. He boxed with him with an eraser. You feel me? I don't like that. I don't like what you did, teacher. I didn't like that. That was poor. And you're a man, like you know what I mean. Like you could have been like, yo, you getting out of my classroom. Or that kid would have tried something. You could have put him in a headlock. Female strength. Feel me? That kid was scrawny. Teacher, you ain't have to hurt that boy.
You think a headlock? He didn't hurt him.
I mean, nah, because the little boy got squabbles. He tried to get him. He thought he was gonna get him with the first one. He's like, oh, you ain't going down, huh? Try to come with it. And then the little boy was like, all right, he set up. He was like, all right, bet. This is what I opened up for. This is what I asked for. So then he had to do what he was designed to do. A little kid probably was a boxer. He was throwing punches. Feel me? Teacher was throwing punches. Feel me? And I'm gonna say, yeah, he probably was holding back, whatever. But come on now, like you don't want no grown man going blow for blow with your son.
He wasn't going blow for blow.
Your son is trained for that. He was. They was both it. They were swinging at each other.
And missing. I think
the teacher was connecting.
It could have been.
The teacher was connecting a little.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It didn't.
And then when he went on the ground, he was hitting him more. Like when he went on the ground, he was mollywopping.
On the ground.
Yeah. Watch the video again. He was mollywopping. He was mopping him up. Doop, doop, doop. He was giving a doop, doop, doop.
You guys watch the video. I don't know what. Doop, doop, doop. By the way, we don't. I've said my thoughts on this. I don't think that is right. We don't condone physical violence. The teacher should not be put. He could have got written up, but I don't think.
Hell,
I don't
that's
think.
That's a minor, man. That ain't 14. If that kid was like way bigger than you or whatever, you wouldn't have did all that. So like that's what I'm saying. Like the only time what it is if that
It
kid
depends
physically
if he
assaulted her
had
first.
has he had any past the teacher, any past situations like that. If he didn't, then I don't think that it should
I
have
mean,
been
we
justified.
could definitely ask
I think
ChatGPT some
he
shit like
should have
that.
had some
ChatGPT
type
did.
of punishment because he should have held his composure better. But if he wasn't never, if he never did nothing like that before,
So that's a deciding factor. If the teacher did this before, you know better from last time, Mr. Clark.
I'm saying any type of thing on your record. Like if you already got a history of
Violence.
bad behavior or or violence and being a teacher, then yeah, this is it.
I'm not even
Now,
gonna
but
look it
if
up.
you
I'm gonna
don't
do
have,
him justice. I ain't gonna look it up. I'm gonna leave it alone. We gonna say what it was. Teacher was wrong. It got dismissed. He was able to have an illustrious career minus this little blemish. Um, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Was Marston wrong, justified, or did both sides cross the line? A woman escaped from her home in her home with 1 second to spare. It was crazy. This dude was like coming down the hall. He's like, Miss, and just ran mad quick and came to her door, but she closed her door just in time. And he tried to knock on the door, like, ma'am, can you open the door? Like after she locked the door, like, and it was all on camera. I be seeing some crazy ring cam stuff, man. Ring cam stuff crazy, yo. Like, what you think about that with the lady escaping? Did you see that? That was. What do you think about
I think you gotta be careful. There's some crazies out there. And she was, I don't know, maybe she was coming home from work, or I think she had groceries, didn't she, or
that?
something?
Yeah, so she has some stuff in her ring.
Yeah, so maybe she went to the store, and you can't even go to the store as a woman.
Maybe she dropped something.
And a good thing she peeped. No. Good thing she peeped. Yeah. She peeped right before, like, that he was coming, and then he snuck up in the building, and then she closed the door just in the nick of time. Because if it was that, then you would just said that. Why you keep calling her and not saying nothing? She ain't dropped nothing. Because you was behind her before that, and he don't live there. So what are you doing in that building? If she drops something, why you wait till she go in the house to try to tell her? Right. He has some ill intentions.
We got to do a better job of protecting our women. Did you see the video I sent you?
About what I seen that?
The woman on the ring cam video getting beat up by her ex. Violently.
Probably.
This is crazy. This is like this is like the craziest shit I've seen this whole year. They hope you know what's AI and what's not. Gonna take forever.
I know. AI is getting out of hand. We got self-driving cars. You can tell Alexa to do almost anything. Alexa, preheat the oven. Why are you telling her to preheat the oven? Alexa can't put your food in there that you're trying to preheat the oven for. So it doesn't even make no sense. You already got to go in the kitchen to put the food in the oven. Why can't you turn it on with your hand? Not telling Alexa, put the washing machine on. Like, do all this stuff that, like, it's like Smart House, that Disney movie that came out like 10, 20 years ago or something. And it's getting too much. People are not using their brains anymore. They're relying on. There are people that they could have been to a specific location multiple times.
The video wild graphic. Um, I could share the link in the chat as well.
Yeah, like I don't know what's wrong with people, but there are men out there that do these things. Women, if you find yourself in a situation where a man is abusing you, then, well, that said that was her ex boyfriend, but please. And then people talk about abusive relationship. They're like, oh, why didn't she just leave? Like if it's like continued and she kept going. Uh, Studies show that the hardest part of an abusive relationship, or the worst part rather, not the hardest, the worst part is when the person that's being abused tries to leave, because all men are not gonna just let you go that do that. Some of them will find, if you try to move somewhere else, they'll find you and follow you. When you get a restraining order, you gotta have proof of why they ask you what you're getting a restraining order for. You need evidence. So you got, and then when you get that, some people are crazy enough that they don't even care about a restraining order and they'll still come to your home. And then if they're doing things or whatever and you don't have proof and you don't have like certain things, then they're gonna be like, how do you know that they're doing this? How do you know it's them or whatever? So then you gotta damn near almost not make it or take them out before like you're get real protection, because if they now to that extent, there's definitely proof. There's definitely bruises. There should be. So she should report that. And but then for a physical abuse like that, if you're even to that extent, they don't get that much time. Like he'll be out in probably like a year if she press charges, if he even get that much time. If she's not like she can no longer walk, or she almost lost her life or something like that, like they don't even get that much time. Like, and especially if it didn't get to the point of like you can see actual bruises and stuff like that, that's like a slap on the wrist. You might be out in 48 hours or whatever. That wouldn't even, and then you could do a restraining order, but like I said, you gotta hope that the person is sane enough to care about a restraining order and leave you alone. And then some people will move, they might come find you. It might be like enough. There do be, it may not be a whole lot of men, but there do be people like that. So to women, you just got to know the signs to look for to prevent yourself from being in that situation. And a lot of women may not know the signs; they never experienced it, or you don't know anyone that went through that, or you didn't, um, do any research on it of like body language and behaviors and things to pay attention to when you may be dating an abusive man. Um, but I hope that lady's okay. I hope she end up. When did that happen?
It wasn't a lot of context in the video. It was really quick, but they're still trying to find the young man or whatever.
So he did that and then he
Yeah,
fled.
he just was doing stuff like that. But there was like a string of like break-ins and stuff, robberies. So he could have been one of the suspects in that search. So he's a lead in an ongoing case.
Mm. Well, I hope that lady's okay, and hope she has some. If you got family or somewhere else to go stay with a friend or a family member or something while there until they catch him, or until you feel safe enough to come back.
There was a teacher that was forcing children to do same sex kisses.
Worse than girls. It was a female teacher and she was having the girls kiss each other to practice. I don't know what.
Crazy, man. That's crazy stuff.
Again, I can't stress it enough. Homeschool, guys.
School is
Consider it.
crazy. School is crazy,
I
yo.
mean, people, if an adult accepts that that's who they are and they want and they're attracted to the same gender, then that's an adult's decision. The teachers should not be influencing the children to do these, even with a boy with the opposite gender. Why are you? What kind of class is this that you having the kids kiss each other?
Life
Like,
skills.
no, they ain't have you kissing each other.
No.
You would have a doll. I mean, I never had that class, but I know some schools did. Like, you would have a baby doll, and you had a father and a mother, and y'all would take turns taking care of. You had to change the diaper. That's useful because some people are gonna have children one day. It's helpful to know what it's like or have some, you know, experience, even though it's a doll. It gives you some type of idea of what it's like. You're gonna be waking up in the middle of the, in the middle of the night because the baby's crying. You gotta feed them. You gotta change their diaper. You're gonna be tired. It's a lot. It's giving you some, it's not the full experience because you won't have that until you actually have your own child. But I think that that's helpful. But teaching the kids, that's like what's next. You're gonna be teaching them how to have intercourse. You're gonna do that too. Like, that's ridiculous. That should be a natural. You should explain. The parent should explain, and that's another thing parents don't do. They don't discuss that because it's taboo, and they don't want. They're gonna do it, and they're gonna. If you don't have the conversation with them about it, they're going. They might be a teen parent, or or might get a STD or something because they having conversations with their friends. I mean, nowadays you can go on the internet and search stuff up, but I think it's important to have these conversations with the children about intercourse, about protection, and for girls, about having your cycle, because women don't have. You might be like Carrie. If you ever seen the movie Carrie, she thought she was about to be unalived because she started bleeding in the shower at school after gym class, and she thought she didn't know what was happening because her mom never told her what a period was. So, like, that's a movie, and it's so, but that could possibly happen if they're, yeah, like, because I don't remember, I didn't have that conversation. Like, I remember when I went to the doctor, and the doctor can tell when it's getting ready to come. So the last appointment that I had, they had said, "Oh, that I was going to be getting it in the next few months." And I knew what it was, 'cause I feel like I had heard about it or whatever, but I didn't have, like, nobody told me, "Oh, this is the product that you're supposed to use," and had an actual conversation about it or whatever. So I kind of just, I had access to the prize, or I was getting, when it happened, I did, but it wasn't like, I feel like it's important to have a conversation so you're gonna feel this. Don't be ashamed. Don't be. I actually made a song about that, which some people might think like, oh, it's not really talking about that physical, like, it's not nasty or whatever or graphic, but it's explaining to a young girl who is going to go through that what it's like. You're gonna get cramps. You're gonna be bloated. You don't have to be, this is what you do. This might be the age when it happens, and this is just a process, and here's how you handle it. I made a song about it because I was like, I remember I was at Job Corps. There was this girl. Now there was this other girl that was in the dorm. She was from New York, and we made the song together, I think. But I don't remember what she said. But I'm gonna say it. It's called 30 days. Every 30 days or within sometime within every month it comes, okay? If you're regular, some people have sometimes it doesn't come every 30 days. It might be every other month or whatever. But some was 12, some was 8 when they first got it. But when I got my cramps, I felt like I was dying 30 days. And in a week, it'll go away. Or within a week, I should say, it'll go away. Don't gotta worry about those stomach pain, stomach pain, stomach pain. Um, I don't remember the rest of what I said, but it's just about I don't want to say being proud because some like I said, a girl be scared if they don't know what this is and you don't know, and some so it helps you like to go through that process. Like there was an episode of the Cosby Show, and they Rudy had got hers, but the mom. I think this is something. It sounds crazy, or maybe guys wouldn't understand, or maybe some women would think that is weird or whatever. But like Claire, she will have Women's Day because like now you're a woman. You're officially you're still a kid, but like you can now you're able to create life. So technically, biologically, you're a woman, but you're still developing. The rest of you is still developing into an actual woman. But this is the start of that. So she would have this Woman's Day, the day where they could be proud and you don't gotta be ashamed. I mean, it's not saying go around just out shout it out in the but it's like you understand what this means and you're not scared. You understand what's going on and it makes them because you when you're going through that you feel nasty, you feel whatever, like you feel some people's emotions are up and down, their hormones, because it's a lot. Some people have worse experiences when they're going through this. So it was like for every daughter, Claire on the Cosby Show, she would have Women's Day for them. And Rudy didn't want. She just didn't want to. She just like, okay, I got it. I don't want like because there was room, and this is why you gotta talk to your parents. Because the kids said if you you don't get in the water, that's what the kids told her in school. Like, don't get in the water because the shark gonna smell you and then they're gonna come and get you or whatever. And it's like, no, that's not gonna happen. There are products that you can use that you're not going to be dripping in the water or whatever. So like that's not true. But they said they I don't know. They just had her, but they had her scared, and she was just like, I don't want to deal with this. I wish it didn't happen, and that's how I feel. I wish it don't come because it is like a or whatever. But it's like this is a part of life what you got to deal with. So I think I went off completely off or whatever. But like I said about that, you should have a conversation and about intercourse. The parents should discuss that with them. That is not something that the teacher should be introducing to the children, and especially not same-sex relationship or opposite uh, gender relationships
Kissing is out
either.
of line.
Yeah,
That's just crazy.
that's crazy. I would now the teacher need to get fired for that.
Right. Absolutely.
Because what are you trying to accomplish? Is that a part of the curriculum?
Yeah.
Did the Board of Education approve that?
Right. Where should schools draw the line with shit like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
That's what I said. Was that approved or is that some lone wolf behavior? Did she do that on her own because she's trying to turn the kids out? Like, what are you? Is the teacher a part of the LGBT community?
And then there was another story about uh fucking the mother. She let her kid wear a dress to school, and the teacher said that
A
you can't.
son?
Yeah, her son, and the teacher said that's not appropriate or whatever, and she got upset, and the child had to be in school suspension for the remainder of the day.
Hmm.
It was a 5-year-old.
Now, I think that the teacher, like I said, you shouldn't be and I'm not saying that I agree that the mom should be having should be dressing the kid in girls' clothes when they're a boy.
I mean,
But
that's her
I
child.
just
Respect
like
it.
I said about that's what I'm saying. So just like I said about the kissing, that's not your business or your place to be telling the mom the kid how to the mother how to parent her child. Like you they bringing them to school to get an education now, but it probably created a ruckus in the classroom. But you're also making the kid feel he probably don't even understand what's going on. Like, why am I in school suspension? What happened? Like, you're isolating the kid, or they shouldn't like feel like, you know what I'm saying? That's not that. I don't know. There's another way to handle it, but I don't think the teacher is not your business. But I wouldn't personally dress my child in a dress. I would put them on clothes that were made for
So you don't
boys.
think they should have got in school suspension for wearing that?
No, I think the teacher should
Oh,
have control of the class, and if it was becoming an issue, then he should have made the kids okay, simmer down, because you should have control of your
he
classroom.
wasn't properly
Unless
dressed.
all
The
of the
teacher said
kids that how what kind of dress was it? Was his
he was wearing a
skin
skirt.
exposed, like his
Kid was
cheeks,
wearing a
or?
skirt.
But I'm saying, what kind of skirt was it? Was it
It
up
wasn't a
above
kilt.
his?
It was it was a regular skirt. It was a woman's skirt, a little girl's skirt.
That's not answering. Was his cheeks out? How short was it?
Nah.
Because if a girl
It
wore
was
it,
an
you're not gonna.
appropriate length. I think it was probably above the knee.
That's what I'm saying. That's not for the. And who decided to put the kid in school? The teacher probably just sent them there. You can't. I don't think that's for. That's not your place. And again, I'm not saying I wouldn't put my
Cause
son
she
in
was
a dress,
cause she
but
was gonna
it's
have
not.
to change his
In the
clothes.
same token, I said the teacher should not be teaching the kids to kiss. That's not your place.
Maybe
You
the dress
should. You
code in that
can't.
school is that you can't wear a dress
That's not
or
a
a
part.
skirt.
That's probably not a part of it because nobody didn't do that before. They probably have a uniform, but the uniform. If we
That's what it was. It was a uniform
okay,
issue.
so it's about the uniform, not that he had a dress on, because they do that. There are guidelines of that, but then that's different. And then if that's something that you already agreed on, but I'm pretty sure they don't have because it doesn't make sense anyway because they're pushing this. They're so if they're pushing it, why would you send them home for that? Which
Some
again,
people
I
probably
don't
don't agree
agree
with
with it.
that,
Yeah,
right?
but
Some
you
people
can't make
he
that
probably
decision if
just
you're
said fuck it.
employed by the school.
He probably just
You
said
have to
fuck it. It was
follow
another Joe
their
Clark.
guidelines. But
It
like
was
you said,
another
it
Joe
was the
Clark.
uniform issue. It wasn't necessarily that he wore a dress.
But he was wearing a dress. The
Yeah,
mother didn't want to put him in the pants because the pants is for the boys and the dress is for the girls.
that's what she said.
That's the uniform.
No, you acting like you talking about because the pants is for
If
the
he was
girls.
improperly dressed, then he wasn't wearing what they were supposed to wear at that
Yeah,
particular
but
school.
you saying like she said like he's a girl, so I'm gonna put like the way you just said that. But I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the kid because some parents like, give their kids a voice and they again my child I would let them decide certain things. I do think
5 years
that
old.
I said certain things, and I already said previously I wouldn't dress my son, in a dress. So that's not one of the choices. Though. If you want to wear a dress, then you have to be old enough to buy your own clothes. I'm talking about it wouldn't be that, but like if you want to wear a certain outfit or whatever, because they say psychologists have a thing like, and it's appropriate. So it wouldn't be addressed if you're a boy. Again, I gotta keep saying it so you know I'm not saying that. But you need to allow them to make decisions at the level that they are, and it will increase as they're growing up, so that they can have that. Because don't. A lot of people get older and don't have their own minds, and when they're going in high school, so they don't have their own minds because the parents didn't give them the ability to choose. Again, not wearing a dress if you're a boy, and I wouldn't do that. But I'm saying they should be able to make some decisions. Now that will be where I draw the line. Like I always explain to them, you're a boy. there are clothes that were made for boys, that are created for boys, and then there are clothes that are created for girls. You're not a girl, so you're not going to wear a dress. You're because that's not a part of your culture. There are some cultures where men wear items of clothing that look like dresses, but they have another name for it or whatever. But you're not a part of that culture, so you're going to wear pants. If you want to dress
They would
like
probably have to have some type of credentials or documentation that says that this is a part of our religion or so on and so forth to be able to
no, I'm saying this is a
appeal the
conversation
dress code
that I would
to
have
make the
with
exception.
my kid if they're thinking like so
Oh, okay.
that
But
wouldn't
I'm
be
saying,
a
but in
thing.
terms of this kid having to go to in-school suspension, if that was a violation of whatever those rules
Yeah,
were
that's
for
the
that
uniform
particular
because you
school,
agreed to that. They send you a
okay,
letter
oh, okay,
home, but it's not
because I'm in favor.
we're making it about that he had a dress, but I don't think that was what it was. It may have been
It's
underlying in his
technical.
mind, but it's because they have a uniform and he wasn't wearing the uniform and they signed
It's
paperwork. It
technical.
said it's not the boys can't wear a dress. It's this is the uniform and you have to wear the uniform.
If that
So
school's
and
curriculum
they send that home to the parents and they agree
was,
to that. So you have to abide by what the byline, what the bylaws of the school is. If you agree to that,
if it
then
was alphabet community friendly, and they were like they welcome you as whatever you identify as your documentation says that when you come into that school, then that's different. If this was something that they just decided to do on a whim, and they was like, okay, well, we gonna switch it up. This what you wanna do now. You wanna wear a dress. He never wore a dress. Now he wears a dress. This is just like being defiant. Why is he wearing a dress? That's not what he's supposed to be wearing. Well, that's what he wanted to wear today. Okay, well, he 5 years old. You decide what he gonna come out the house in. So as a parent, that's a little irresponsible, but that's not my place. Number one, that's not the dress code, and that's it. So you either gonna have to
no,
come to
I was
school and
saying
change them,
that
or
there
you
are
gonna
some
have to
parents
take
that
him home.
allow
If
like
not, he gonna be in
obviously
ISS for the same thing.
if that's the guidelines, you have to wear a uniform. But I'm saying if there was no uniform and not a dress, boy clothes because he's a boy. But if he's like, I want to wear, you give him two outfits and be like this. That's what I'm about to say. Psychologists say do this when the kid's a baby. You can do this. Show them two outfits. And if they look and they smile at one when you put one up and they smile, then that means that indicates because they say even early on kids are able to show signs or they're able to communicate. So that indicates that they like that outfit, and then you can do that. But obviously, a normal outfit, not I wouldn't put my son in a dress. But and if they had a uniform, then that's what you have to explain to your kid because they might want to wear the Spider-Man costume or something. You have to explain to them this is a school that you go to. They require you to wear a uniform. So you could wear your Spider-Man costume. I don't care about that. I think it's okay to let their kids express themselves. If it's the weekend or something, or you going to the group, I don't care. If the costume is clean, or even if the girl want to wear a tutu. Now, if it's cold outside, there would be certain, make it make sense. If it's cold outside and the daughter want to wear a tutu, we're not going outside with a tutu because you're not going to catch a cold. But if it's a nice day and you want to wear your tutu or whatever, and it's clean, and I don't care about that. I don't have a problem with that because what is the real? They're a kid. Let them have an imagination and stuff. There's nothing wrong, but there should be case by case depending on what it is. Like I said, if it's cold, it should be weather appropriate. You shouldn't be walking around obviously not a dress for a boy and an outfit that would be designated for. I mean, I don't know. For girls, it's a little different because it's like there are girl clothes and there are boy clothes. But if a girl wears like girls can wear pants, right? So it's a little more open for women. Like and women, there some women wear baggy clothes, but then but that doesn't mean. And some people would think like, oh, when they're adults or whatever, like, oh, this kid is a part of the community. This woman is a part of the community because she likes to wear baggy clothes, but she might dress more feminine at certain times too. But it's just more comfortable wearing sweatpants or whatever. So it's like it's a little more open when it comes to women in terms of what you can wear. But I do think you should allow your child to express themselves within reason. Like it shouldn't be. And I think things like if you want to join the community as far as like becoming, you believe that you're supposed to be the opposite gender, that's something that you decide as opposite gender than what you were born. That's something that you handle once you're an adult and you're an adult. Like, because I'm not paying for no transition, I'm not buying no clothes for a boy child that are for women and vice versa. Um, you're not going to be wearing makeup. I'm not going to beat you because I don't think, because that's the answer for a lot of people if they do that. But I'm going to explain this to you and I'm going to be like, this is going to be hard for you because society standards is, and biologically, if you want to have children, that's something that you ever, when you grow up, you want to have a family, like, you're not going to be accepted in society if you behave this way. And I don't, and I would have these conversations. Why do they want to do this or whatever? But I'm not going to be buying you clothes to help you with this or supporting you in this financially. Um, what I'm saying? If you get a job and you're at the age where you're able to do that yourself, you're still my kid. I would love you, but I know that's gonna be a hard life, and we already got a hard life as Black people. If you could help it, which I don't really think people can, and I think especially for trans, I think that's a mental health issue because why do you think that you're the opposite gender than which you were born? That's like saying I'm supposed to be a mouse. Like I always felt like I was supposed to be a mouse, but I was born into a human body. It's like that's the way it sounds to me. That sounds like mental illness. And studies have shown in psychology that there is some physical disconnection when you're progressing in life as you're developing in the womb. Well, not in like as you're developing in the womb, that there's some type of disconnect, and that's why people are either G in LGBT or the T in LGBT. Why they end up that way? Because their brain is switched. Their brain develops to the opposite gender than what their physical body is. Because you start off as one gender in the womb, and then instead of progressing, if it's split and you change to what you're supposed to be, instead of your brain going with your physical, your genitalia, your brain identifies with the opposite, and that's what they say is the reason why that happens for G and T in LGBTQ community. So it isn't a mental health thing, and I think if we begin to recognize it as that, then I think, because people ask the question, what can you do about it? I think first we have to recognize it as what it is. More people have to accept it as that's what it is. And then we can begin to help come up with a solution to this. Because if we continue the way that it's going, we ain't gonna, we're gonna, we're getting depopulated because two men can't have children. I mean, they can adopt, but those are kids that are already here, or somebody else has it. Or it could get surrogates, people do that too. But if we want more people to procreate, but also it needs to be healthy relationship, not just having children that you can't take care of or you don't want to be a part of their life. It have to make sense, right? But if we want that to continue, then like I said, we need to acknowledge it as what it is, and I think it's a mental health condition. And this is no offense to anybody in the community, but that's what studies have shown based off my logic of what I've researched. So that's what I'm going with, and I don't think it's something that people can help. I think because just like bipolar or schizophrenia, like that's a mental health issue. So as soon as people recognize it as what it is, then we can start to go down the path of a resolution. And I think the only real issue with that is the fact of like not being able to continue humanity because it seems like more people, more people that are being born, like this generation, are it seems like there are more people a part of the community than ever that are growing up that way. But if outside of that, I wouldn't care. But it's like we gotta continue the world. We want healthy people.
So since we're on the topic of trans kids going to school, wearing whatever, your stance on it is if this is what I choose to do as a parent with my child, then so be it. They shouldn't be able to tell me how to dress my kid as long as it's appropriate. My stance on it
That's
is,
not what I said.
I mean, well, you wouldn't practice that, but you think people should be allowed to.
I think if
do
there's an
whatever they
agreement
want.
of a uniform that you have to wear, because that's what it is. I said
Like,
that.
but
If that's not,
if there's
then
not,
yeah.
then they should be able to dress however they want their child to dress, as long as it's appropriate within the guidelines. There's
Yeah.
no uniform, right? I feel different. I feel like no, a boy should dress like a boy and a girl should dress like a girl in that type of school. In high school, whatever. If a boy wants to wear a dress or something like that, whatever. But in middle school, there should be a
It was
structure.
5, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's
So there
less
should be a
than middle
structure.
school.
Yeah,
That's kindergarten.
absolutely. There should be a structure. But once they get to high school, they come with their own identity or whatever, that's different. But
I didn't say. I said the teacher. If there's no guideline for that, the teacher has no rights. I never said that the parent should
there
do that.
probably isn't.
I said the
I'm just
teacher
saying,
has no right to
no,
address
I'm
it
just
because
saying
that's not for your
if they
child.
do, I'm just saying I don't think there probably is a guideline for that. I'm just saying if they do, I don't think it's wrong because why do your
That's
boy got
not
to
your
dress
job,
going to school?
and you're
I
gonna
know,
lose your job
I know,
for doing
probably.
stuff.
Yeah.
So you would lose your job.
Well, I wouldn't be a teacher, but then I'm saying like hypothetically, I don't think that a teacher is wrong. And if the school supported it, then I'm all for it. But like in my opinion, it's really just based on I think I don't think a little boy should be wearing a dress. Not a little boy.
I don't think
Like they
so
don't even
either.
know any
But
better.
just like the
Like,
teacher shouldn't be teaching the girls to kiss each other.
Absolutely, I agree
So
with that. I agree with both. Both
you
can
need
be
to
right.
stay in your lane.
Nah, both can be right. Both can be right.
Well, that's my opinion. It's not. I didn't say because again, I
'Cause
wouldn't
it
want
falls into
my
the same
kid to,
category, in
my
my
son
opinion.
to wear a dress. But if that's not something that the child sounds like, oh, you have to wear a uniform, which it seems like that's what it is. It has to wear a uniform. If I'm paying you to teach the kids, then that's what you would.
curriculum of
So
our
yeah,
environment.
but you need to have
Because all
control
of
of
these
your
little
class.
kids
Unless the whole
identify
class
that
is up
boys
in an
are different and
uproar,
girls
or
are
if it's
different.
like one kid says something, then you need to address that kid. Because just like in another situation, if the kid was getting bullied outside of that, like if they just because kids get bullied regardless, if you don't have to wear no dress if you're a boy, the kids are mean or whatever. If the teacher is witnessing that, they should be able to handle that and have control of the class. They're 5-year-olds, so that's what you're responsible for. You don't have no right to tell. And again, I wouldn't address my kid like that, but that's not your place, is what I'm saying.
But look at this conflict.
If you feel wrong about that, then go report it to the board or go do it another way. But because now you're isolating the child. Now you're isolating the child, and they don't even probably understand what is going on. They're 5 years old.
So the mom should know better.
So
right?
the child suffering.
Right. Absolutely. Let's look at this conflict.
That's not your place.
Right. Okay, I agree. I agree with you. I'm not just conceding just because, but I actually agree with that. Yeah, that's not their place to make that decision. You're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is that why I support the teacher, because think of the conflict that it could cause. Here's the hypothetical.
But you're supposed to control the class. They're 5-year-olds.
Okay, I get that. But understand this. We don't want the teachers to teach these kids about sexuality. We don't want these these teachers to teach these
You
kids.
don't have to
Let
teach
me,
them,
I let you cook. I shut up. I did shut up. Can I cook uninterrupted for a little bit, just for a minute or so. We don't want the teachers to teach these kids about sexuality and gender identification and such, not at such an early age. So the question is going to come up when they're showing pictures, when they use different diagrams to associate with the different gender specification. So now they got to enter that rabbit hole when Justin or whomever comes to the school and he has a dress on and he's never worn a dress. Now there's a question. So now the teacher has this conversation. This kid doesn't go to ISS, right? This kid stays in the classroom. Now all the other parents are upset, and this teacher loses his job because he talked to the parent and said that, and probably said it to the office and whatever. So now everybody's backlashing the school for making a stance on something that could have possibly been disruptive in the classroom. That's the only angle that I would argue. Other than, yeah, what you're saying is absolutely right. That teacher had no right to just send that kid to in-school suspension or kick that kid out of school because he was wearing a dress, especially if the dress wasn't like revealing or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? But in any case, it wouldn't have probably been inappropriate, but then I would argue that the mother went overboard. Like he had earrings on and his nails was done and all this. You know what I mean? I don't know, but it just seems like why would the teacher tell the mother that you gotta change him? Like this is too much. Did he have on makeup? Like what? Like how far did she go at 5 years
Didn't you
old?
see the picture?
I don't really know the whole story. I just know like it was a crazy thing. Like
But
they
it
was
was a
just talking
picture,
about it. It just
wasn't it?
wasn't one of huh?
You sent the, there was a picture of what the boy
I
had
did
on,
say
wasn't
something.
it? Yeah, I don't think he shouldn't be teaching them about that. So if the kid did that and the kids are asking questions or some like, and I don't think it's gonna cause a whole uproar because some kids are so innocent at that age they wouldn't even recognize like, oh, they might notice, but they're not going to say anything or make them feel bad or whatever. Like they kind of be oblivious to it. And then there are other kids that are more aware at that age and they might say something. But I don't think it would be the whole class. And you don't have to tell them what's going on. You just have to tell them, hey, don't worry about that. You know, if you have questions about this, I think it's best you discuss that with your parents. And, you know, don't bully him. It's not right to mistreat people because they're different and just leave it at that. You don't have to give them no explanation. Like I said, tell them to refer to their parents if they have questions. And the parents probably is going to be upset, but things like this happen all the time. Not specifically with a dress, but like kids have done other stuff where the kids come home and then they're like, oh, like if they had two parents, like, oh, why does Bobby have two moms or whatever? So it's the same dynamic.
Story. I don't know where it's at, but I don't know where it's at, but basically I guess they was trying to sue the school or something about the whole thing because they didn't agree with it. The father was standing behind it or whatever, showing that the father is in the son's life, supporting that in his 5 year old. But I mean, I'm not really like I'm not gonna argue that it's right or it's wrong. You know what I mean? It's really, I just believe that if if you send your kid to a school and your kid is expected to behave a certain way or do a certain thing, and you know that beforehand when you send the kid to that school, then you're responsible for whatever happens if you didn't follow those policies. And that's what be happening. They be like, well, my kid's different. He's not like these other kids, or she's not like these other girls. And then people going against the school. Like, you know how these schools is. They're not trying to let none of these kids be special. Like, even when they got these celebrity kids coming to the school, they can't be special. You gotta do just like other kids.
If they suing them, because it would be dumb otherwise, there must not be no guideline regarding it. Because if it is, then that's stupid. Because if you signed an agreement that they're supposed to wear a uniform, then you can't sue against it because you agreed to it. So I would assume that it's not because unless they just I mean, sometimes it be loopholes and stuff, but people don't read when they be signing stuff. You get the kid, they school be sending stuff home to the parents. They don't be reading the junk. Not all the time. People don't read stuff in general. They be signing their life away. Go to the doctor and make a sign paperwork. Don't nobody read that. Download all these apps on your phone. Nobody reading that. Going to end up like that episode of what is that show? Black Mirror, where her whole life was on Netflix. Cause she, well, it wasn't called. Use her likeness. It wasn't called Netflix. It was called something, but it was just like Netflix, like the way it come on and everything. But her whole life, they were just recording her. That she didn't even know, because she turned the TV on one day and just see her life on the, just see her life on the Netflix series. At that exact moment, like live, and she's like, "This is everything that happened today. How?" And then they like, "Oh, excuse me, section 4C-2. Um, you agreed that we could use your likeness on this because it wasn't her really. They had an actress playing her, and but the show was about her. It was like Joan something, because that was the lady's name. And she was like, I didn't agree to this. And then she was like, they was like, yes, you did. In section 4-B. And it said, and then the person who was playing her, they, I don't know, it was some type of agreement. They said they didn't agree to something. Oh, because they was making them do other stuff that they didn't agree. Like they doodled outside or something, and then they were like, why did you?" And then the actress came and complained too, and then they were like, "This is in section 4-C of your contract. It said if we want to do stuff like that, we could do it." So then I think the actress quit or something. I don't know, or she couldn't quit because that was in the agreement too. Like that joke was crazy, but shit, don't ain't I know. Put a one in the chat. Anybody watching or the people watching, if you ever, when you download these applications like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and all these, do you sit up there and read the terms of agreement?
Only Karen's reading.
People don't. No, don't say only Karen because you're putting a negative connotation on it, and you should be reading it. People don't read stuff. People don't read their insurance policy, and then they be thinking stuff is covered that's not. Like, and then they get mad when they go to the doctor because they didn't check, and now they got a bill because it's not covered. And then they be like, "Oh, that's why your CEO got like."
I'll say this. I know what I need to know for things I need to know about.
You don't know if you don't read.
Yeah, I do. I read what I need to read. Like everything is not important. Like, all right, certain things like items or merchandise or something like that, you should read the fine print, know about how long your warranty is gonna last, but a lot of times we don't really care about that. We just happy we got it, shiny new thing, whatever, it breaks down. Now we don't know that it's expired. It was only a year. We had it for 3. You know what I mean? it's good to read fine print on stuff, but they neglect to tell you certain things. They redirect you in some of the information that they give you to like check this out or call this number for more information. Like, why don't you just give me all the information? You gave me this much, you know what I mean? So there's loopholes and certain things that people might not even have in underwriting. So you might have to know a little bit more. You might have to need somebody legal to look over the documents for you. You know what I mean? A lot of times it depends on what you're dealing with. But
Yeah, that's true because you got to understand what you're reading too.
absolutely,
And that's
absolutely.
why a lot of time people don't read stuff because they'll start reading it and then they be like, they get frustrated.
That's a good excuse.
It's not a good excuse depending on what it is that you didn't read. If it's an insurance policy
It's
or
a good excuse
something,
prior to
like
1995.
I was watching a video on YouTube. This lady, she does people's hair, and one of her clients ended up passing away. They had cancer, and she had gotten close with her. They became friends, or at least enough to where they had good conversation while she was doing her hair. I don't know if they hung out outside of that, but she considered her a friend or whatever from doing her hair over time. And you know, she didn't have. She had got. She thought she got a life insurance policy. The lady who passed away for her daughter, so that she could bury her and so that she could have a little something to go on in life, something to like, some savings or whatever to leave something behind for her. And it was not a life insurance policy. It was an accident insurance policy. She had cancer though. So that's not considered an accident. So because she got the wrong type of insurance policy, then the lady that does the hair, because she considered her a friend, she was asking people like if you could donate some money. The girl had made a GoFundMe page. I just came across it yesterday, but this happened about a year ago. The video says from a year ago. But that's just an example of like why you need to read stuff or have somebody help you with it if you don't know, because the lady was thinking that she got a life insurance policy and it was accidental coverage. She only got it because she knew she was sick and they told her she didn't have much time. And the girl the daughter had to gather up money to, you know, to bury her because she had the wrong type of insurance policy. So people got to read that. Or like I said, if you don't understand, they get somebody. Because everybody can't afford a lawyer, but look it up. Put it in Chat GPT if you're able to access the internet and things like that. If you know how, or if you have somebody around that knows how. If you don't have nobody around and you don't know how to do it, then it's kind of hard. But for the people that, if you have an alternative, somebody to help you, or if you can afford a lawyer, then especially for things like that. But I really think people need to start reading stuff in general, especially the way the government going with stuff, and they do stuff like that on purpose. Um, so they put stuff in there because they know people not going to read it. And I don't, when they make these TV shows and these movies and stuff like that be going on, or they be thinking about it's like a soft launch. See how people gonna react to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they put it in plain sight, and so you could be desensitized. Be like, oh, it's just a TV show. Okay, it was just a TV show, but now people got chips in them or whatever. There's some countries where you scan your wrist to open your car. I don't want no fucking. Some people think that's cool. Okay, Terminator, you want to do that shit. I don't want no fucking. I don't want to be no damn robot. I don't want no chip in my arm and be scanning, paying for shit with my wrist. Like that's okay. I could use a card.
Remember that movie? That movie Out of Time with Justin Timberlake?
Oh no.
No, was it? It was Out of Time, right? Was it?
Yeah, there was a movie with Justin Timberlake.
He was like everybody had time
I didn't
on
watch it.
their. That was how they lived, like with time. So you have to have like certain amount of time to be like years and something. The people that had the most time were like rich, wealthy people, and they would charge people time. You know what I mean, for certain things, and they'll pay them with the time that they have. They would have like millions. Some people would be like immortal, and then Justin Timberlake was living day to day, with time. Basically living day to day. He was just working to get time to live. And his mother was mad young, but his mother was about to pass. So he had to give, his mother gave her little bit of time to him so he could live a few more weeks. And he found some guy that was on the run. He had like hundreds of years of life. So he gave his time to Justin Timberlake, and him and his girl was on the run for the whole movie. It was pretty cool. Cool movie. See him in a little sci-fi joint. What do you think about if the NBA decides to allow transgender women into the WNBA? If they allow that, do you feel like it's okay for men who identify as a woman to play in the NBA as well and to go to the tryouts?
What'd you say?
I said if the WNBA allows transgender women to play in the NBA, do you think it's all right?
In the jug, I don't have no bottle.
Do you think it's all right for men who played in the NBA to go to the tryouts for the WNBA to qualify for the league if they identify as a woman?
It's the WNBA.
Bless
If
you.
you're not a woman.
Well, they identify as a woman. So if they approve the
Just
trans,
because they identify as a woman, that doesn't mean that's what
they
they are.
approve the trans. If they
That's a
approve,
mental health issue.
but I'm
That's
saying
what it
if
really
they
is.
do you think it's
No.
okay for men to play as well
No.
if they
Because it's the
identify as a woman?
WNBA. They're not a woman.
But you're not getting my
Regardless
question.
of what they identify as.
Yeah.
I am getting it. I
Okay.
answered it. I said no.
You don't
trying to
think
get
men
me.
should be able to do it?
I don't think either gender.
No,
Basketball,
I'm saying
the
it's
regular
already
NBA
okay. It's
is
okay for transgender to do it. Let's just say that.
You asking me, do I think that they should do it? Regardless
No,
if it's.
not that. I'm not saying do I think that they should be transgender. I'm saying they do.
You said, do I think they should try out? They should be allowed to try out.
Should men be allowed to do it as
No.
well?
I don't think men should be going to the WNBA, and I don't think women should be going to the NBA. It's already the way that it is. Why are you changing it now?
All right, so
for a mental health.
I think yeah. If you're gonna allow transgender to play in the WNBA, you should allow men who identify as women to play in the WNBA, who played in the NBA, and not be discriminated against. Just the taste of your own medicine. Just make it intergender. Just do that. But if he says he identifies as a woman,
then they need to make a separate league that's unisex. Don't put transgender or men or women, just unisex. That's what it should be. Just like the bathroom and just say restroom.
Yeah,
that's
but they
what
not.
it should
But
be.
they not doing that.
That's my answer. That's what they should have. I'm not saying what they want. You asked me a question. That's the
but
answer.
I'm saying men are also are trying to go to the tryouts because they found out that they could do it. So they said they identify as a woman so that they could go to tryouts as well with the transgenders. because they believe that they deserve an opportunity to play in the WNBA just as much as a transgender the um, has the what you call it privilege to do it. So
I think if men and women want to play basketball together, then they should have a separate league for that's unisex.
I agree. I agree. I agree with that. So it's fair, right? Because it has to be
Even a
fair.
bathroom, they be like it's
He
the
wants to use he
a
wants to use
restroom.
the
There's
female
already restrooms that's restroom. In every bathroom
He
don't
want to
say
use the
man and
same.
woman.
He want
There
to use
are
the ladies'
unisex
locker.
restrooms because it just say restroom, right? In smaller places they don't have more than one. It's just one bathroom or a handicap bathroom with any that's unisex. So it's like they're making it a bigger deal than what it is. Just go into the handicap bathroom or go into the bathroom that if you ain't go to somebody's house, they don't have a women's bathroom and a men's bathroom. They just have a bathroom. They're making it a bigger thing than what it is, or trying to make new things to accommodate these people. Like go to the bathroom. Just go to the bathroom. And most places have men, women, and handicap or a unisex restroom too, if it's a bigger establishment. So go into the bathroom if you don't know if you can't go in the women or the men because you identify as something else, then go in the bathroom that don't have a gender on it. If it's one available, if it's not, then hold it till you get home because they doing extra stuff. That's unnecessary. Well, we all do. So, I don't know. Well, I'm not saying we all do about that. I'm responding to messages. Oh, here goes the drama. Um, what's the next thing?
Hold on, I want to play the clip.
The
I thought
clip
it was
of what?
hilarious.
Of them going that saying that they want to audition for the
Mhm.
WNBA.
Yeah.
As sometimes identifying as a woman for purposes.
Um, what's the next thing?
Oh,
Oh, earlier this week, I made the announcement. I'm transgender. I'm a woman. I identify as sometimes identifying as a woman for purposes of basketball, professional basketball. So I'll be declaring for the WNBA draft in 2027 as well. Well, I mean, I think I'd be unstoppable. Um, but I'm a team first guy. I'm a pass first kind of player. I do the little things. I led my team in all 5 major stat categories at Iowa State University. So I do a little bit of everything. I'll do whatever the coach needs me to do. I'll do whatever the girls need me to do. I think the WNBA could come out and make a definitive statement about guys with a pair of balls playing in the women's association. But hey, that'd be probably too much like right. So, and I don't want to be discriminated against. No, I want fair treatment. I'm a black. I'm a young black, hopefully United States senator. Uh, Earlier this week, I made the announcement.
right. So that was Royce White, ex NBA player, and he said that if they allow transgender to play in the WNBA, he would also like to try out as well, and he don't want to be discriminated against. He would identify as a woman, um, just for the pure meaning of basketball, and that could mean something to him psychologically. So
I don't think if you just doing that just because and you don't, it's for people who actually believe that. So I don't think they would allow
but
that
it's not
because
fair for a
just because you
transgender to
just
play
said
in
it,
the WNBA,
there are people that
play in the
really
NBA with the
believe.
men.
There are people that really believe that they're like that. For you to just say it just so you can play, that's not the
If
same.
you really
That's the
that good,
same
play in the
argument that
NBA.
they had of with the bathroom of why they don't want men going into the or being able to share the restroom with women, because we don't know who's just saying that just because they're
If
weirdos
really
and
that
creeps,
good,
and who
blame the
actually
NBA.
is really like that.
What are we saying?
I'm saying that you shouldn't just be able to just lie and say that that's you doing that.
Can't lie, not be able to lie.
That's
but
what he's
if
doing.
you really that
Is he
good,
really a transgender,
then
or
play in
he's
the
saying,
NBA.
or he's just saying that just so he could play basketball? That you can't.
I don't
That's
know.
not how. I don't. They're probably not gonna let him because you're not. You don't really identify as that. If you just saying that just to play ball, then that's not. They're probably not gonna let. This is designated for the people who really feel like they is like that, or they really a part of the community, not you just posing so you could play basketball to prove a point. But like I said, it should
I'm
be
just
a
saying
separate
fairness.
league for
I'm just
unisex.
saying fairness.
That's
If they did
unisex, so
allow
men
that,
and women.
honestly, I think
For
that
men
should
and
be
women,
that
if
would
they
be
want to
fair
play with each
to
other.
let him play. It would be fair to let him play. If you're gonna let,
I just said they're not going to, because that's not how it works.
no, they are about to approve that. Well, it's in the works.
It's in the process. Probably means
Yeah.
being reviewed. That doesn't mean that they're gonna approve it. He's saying that's what he wanted to do. He probably requested that, but I'm pretty sure they're not gonna, unless he actually identifies as that seriously, then they're not going to do that. If he's just saying that just so he can play ball, then, but then there's no real way to know, because he could say, I really feel like that. But why did you just decide today? Now all of a sudden, that's not something you just wake up when you're whatever age he is, and now you're saying that you like that. You would have been doing that all along. So I doubt that they're gonna not saying what the decision is right or wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they're probably not gonna agree to that, because he's only saying it because he wants to play ball. He doesn't really feel that way.
So what? That's what it's all about, right? That person.
I'm just saying they're not
they
going to
playing
do
ball
that
in the women's
because
league
it's for
they,
the people who really feel
so
that
what's
way.
the reason for the
Because
transgender
those
playing
people
in the
have
WNBA?
mental health issues, and they're
So if you really that good
succumbing
playing
to
the
them.
NBA, you don't agree with that?
I didn't say I don't agree. I said if you're a man, yeah, you can audition for the NBA if that's what they want to do. They already approved that. I said there need to be a separate league if men and women want to play together, and those people you could audition for that or try out, whatever. Audition is the same thing.
No.
They both mean try out. They both mean the same thing. They do.
Audition
you audition for a play. You auditioning for the team. They're just using different words. It still means the same thing. You're trying to join the team. You're trying to get in the play, get a part in the play.
It's not an audition.
Or get a part in the movie.
It is an audition in essence. I'll say that.
Yeah. It's the same thing. It is. It's just a different sport. A different activity.
Yeah, but you don't audition for a sport. You try out for a sport.
What is
you
trying out?
For movies. It's trying out.
What do it mean?
That's what it means. You could say audition is a tryout.
That's what I said. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, but a tryout is not an audition. In a sense, it's not. It's different. It's differences in terminology.
The only difference is the activity. That's what. But an audition is a tryout. You're trying to be in a movie. You're trying to be in a play. You're trying to join the team. It's all. But yeah, it's two different words, but they mean essentially the same thing. You're trying to be a part of something, so you're performing to see if you can be a part of it.
You want to ask ChatGPT if audition and tryout is the same thing?
It's the same thing, just a different activity.
All right. So
let's say that. Isn't auditioning and trying out essentially the same thing? The only difference is they're for different activities. A tryout is for a sport, and audition is for a movie or a play.
All right.
Are tryouts and auditions essentially the same thing? It's just a different activity, but essentially they mean the same thing. You're attempting.
Yeah, you're attempting to get in. A tryout's usually for sports or performance roles, and an audition is more for sort of artsy things, but they're both an evaluated chance to join something.
Thank you. So the only difference would be the activity. Is correct? Is that correct?
Yeah, you're spot on. Activity or context, the concept's the same. You're being assessed to get in.
I mean, they're essentially
Chat GPT. You wanted to look it up. She said yes.
they're different.
So
They're different words, right?
okay, it's a synonym.
Pretty much. In most everyday use, they overlap a lot. Tryouts are just more sportsy. Auditions is more artsy. Same idea though.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give it to you. I'll concede to that.
I mean, it's
because I'd say in context they are different. There are different terminologies. Like I wouldn't say that I'm auditioning for the team. I wouldn't say that. I would say I'm trying out for the team.
Yeah, you wouldn't, but that's why it's a synonym. They mean the same thing. The only difference
I
is the
wouldn't really
activity.
necessarily call it a synonym either.
But ChatGPT said it is, right?
Hang on a second while I double check. Yes, in this context, that's right. They're near synonyms. Same core meaning, different usual context. So good catch on the nuance there.
Okay. All right, I can see. It's funny. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Sometimes when I talk to ChatGPT, she right is right. You know what I mean? So I would say I still, because trying to be
I know we don't say that, but
right.
I
but it's just for the
understand that.
respect
But
of the sport.
is the truth? Yeah, I get it. That's why you're, because it's your emotions that are tied to that. Because you were supposed to be Jordan. I get it.
Yeah,
but that's just but logic.
Jordan would be mad if you
logic trumps emotions.
This is your life. This is the movie of your life.
It wasn't the movie of your life.
We're not talking about
you
me.
You did your best.
We're talking about
me.
Your best. Shit, it's all good. Because I ChatGPT she feel like she won up because I ChatGPT'd her. She got one.
No, I be wrong sometimes too. No. Or not. I don't even think it'd be wrong. It's just the perspective of how
we absolutely. Everybody looks at things differently.
Because you know that you just don't want to say it because of your emotions.
A lot of things. Well, there's the objective. The objective is essentially they are the same meaning, but in the context of what we're describing, that's not how you would describe it. You could say that, but then you would be corrected.
And people would know, but people would know.
They would know, yeah. Oh yeah, he was auditioning for the basketball team. Oh, I know what she's talking about. Like a Cadillac.
Or they might laugh, or they might say whatever, but they know.
Like a catalytic converter. Catalytic converter. Sorry. How do you say it? Catalytic.
I think it is catalytic.
Catalytic. Okay, there you go. I fuck it up. Everybody in the hood calls it a Cadillac converter. A lot of people think that if you don't have a Cadillac, you don't have one. So I'll be trying to tell people like that's not what it is. So that's the biggest misconception with cars, with men and women. Some men don't know, and some women don't know. I didn't know. So you know what I mean?
But that's something that's actually false. In this situation, it does mean the same thing. It's just people don't use that word to describe that.
Right. Let's talk about Nolan Wells. We got some information, new information that's coming out. I want to touch on it every time because this is an interesting situation. We don't want to make it a race thing. Let's not make it a race thing. Let's take race out of it. If we look at the situation and we hear all these people that are involved in the situation and we see like, is it like a seeking to belong type of deal and not really fitting in because the color of your skin? Could it be that? Or could it just be like, we just don't like you because of your character? Or you don't fit in because of your character? But friends, like if you're calling for him to come to the boat, he didn't come to the boat, you didn't leave with him. Okay. But now they got other footage that's supposed to dictate something, and it seems like it's deeper than what it is. Why? Why does it seem like everything is either is terrible or it's a conspiracy? Because sometimes it's terrible and then you be like, this kid wasn't an angel, this kid did this, that. You could paint a bad picture of him, but this kid, you can't even paint a bad picture of him. So you really like, he doesn't, nobody deserved it, but this kid really didn't deserve it because he was a good kid. So what happened? And people want to know because it's just like Malik, um, what's his name? It's a crazy situation. You think about it. Malik Jones, that was his name. When things happen and it's out of your control, the teachers fighting the students. You know what I mean? The kids getting out of control and society taking the law into their own hands. It's like society has lost control as itself. Like, how do your kids have the audacity to go out of control to this level? How do people have the audacity to go out of control to this level? How are the parents not holding their kids accountable for being irresponsible? Somebody, if something went wrong, like honestly, like this is how I honestly feel about the whole situation. I'm not even gonna talk about the audio that just got it. If somebody has to be wrong, then okay, let's get them. But I would hope that this was an accident. These kids didn't do anything wrong. But I don't like this whole "I know what you did last summer" bullshit. I don't like that. I think this is crazy that society has come to this. Like, I don't like that at all. I don't know what happened to this kid. I don't know who this kid is. Um, I don't know his family. I don't really know nothing about him. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not condemning anybody because I don't know nothing. I don't really know the facts, but I do know that I don't want nobody to be like, oh, it's inconclusive. Like everything is being secretive. Like, why are they doing so much to try to cover things up? Like, why is that? Like what is going on? Like, is there something that they don't want people to know, or they don't want people? They don't want to be on the radar. Like, what are they trying to do? What separates reckless behavior from deletion? What separates reckless behavior from deletion?
Deletion is reckless behavior if it's unnecessary. If it wasn't you or the person, Like if you weren't, again, that word danger, if you weren't in physical danger, then that is what did you say? What was the question? Was the
What separates reckless behavior from
yeah,
deletion?
if you weren't in danger of you getting deleted, and that's the only reason why you did that, then it is reckless behavior because there's no excuse outside of that for that. That's the only time where I feel is acceptable. And in depending on the situation, you may not have to take it that far. You can restrain someone if you're able to, and get yourself out of danger, and then wait for the proper authority. But if you're on the water and stuff, then that may not be an option. But only if you're in physical danger of your life is on the line, or even if you're protecting someone else's life is on the line, and you're there witnessing as a family member or a loved one, or you're just being you're trying to save someone, then okay. But anything outside of that is reckless behavior. That's the line.
Hypothetically, you bang your head. Hypothetically, you bang your head from uh, some type of tussle. You fall, you hit your head on something on the boat. You're not no leaking or nothing, but you're out for a little bit, and um, after you're not getting up, so they throw you in the water because they're afraid or whatever, right? And then they say they're gonna like try to get you. They're like, nah, let's just say like the water is filled up in the thing, so we gotta go to the sea or whatever. So we'll just say he never left with us, and they see that he wasn't in here with us, and just whatever, right? And they go to the sea and then they like, nah, let's just call my grandfather and tell him to come swap boats with us. You know what I mean? Grandfather comes swap boats. Feel me? Let's just say hypothetically, and they get on the boat with granddad. Come on the boat with granddad back to the shore, hypothetically, and they're like, yeah, they have some issues with the boat, but they're gonna be coming back or whatever with the boat after they go through. And they call them and they be like saying whatever they saying because they going somewhere else with their boat. And there's a whole timeline of when all this happened, and they end up going to the boat without him and saying that he never came back with us. He was with Kate. They name dropping somebody's story, somebody going down. You know what I mean? Because who was the last person with him? What happened? That's the reckless behavior versus deletion. How much should intent matter when someone expires? How much should intent matter when someone expires?
I think it matters a lot. Like I said, if your life was in danger and it was you or them, I wouldn't expect nobody. I know the law in some states, self defense is not a thing. It's not, they don't have a self defense law or whatever, or you have to prove that, but then some places have stand your ground, some states or whatever. So I think in the situation where it's life or unalive, then I believe you should have the right has to be proven, of course. And I think if that's really the case, then it would be proven. If they have the proper evidence, they could see if there was a struggle, if there was whatever. They got all this technology and they got people that do the proper research to determine if it is self defense or not. And if it actually is, meaning you had no other choice but to do that, then I think it should be justified. They should be free. Now, if you initiate or you went too far, you didn't have to like like I said, if you pume them in the back when they're running away, or if you beat them to a pulp and they were already you were already out of harm's way, you got the drop on them. Now you get on them and start and they pass out and you still hitting them. That now you're going too far. It depends on. So I think it does matter if the intent was not to do that and just to defend yourself, but that's the only option that you had because your life was in danger. Then it matters. But if that wasn't, if you just went too far, you blacked out, or you the one who started it, then no, there should be some consequence.
And dude just like he like kicked the guy in the water like just his palms off. Like, it was kind of crazy. A lot of this stuff like when I be seeing it, I be like, yo, like, this really happening. I seen one video that was crazy. These girls was fighting on like a pier or something, and the pier like where the boats are. I'm saying it crazy. Um, they was on it, and the girls was like fighting out of nowhere. They just got into it and just start punching each other. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like it was crazy because I'm like, I know sometimes they be wilding, but I was like, I wasn't expecting that. Like that really caught me off guard. Like I was like, wow, this is wild. And they was fighting for a long time too. Just for a minute. And the dude was trying to like break it up, but it still was crazy. If I can't find it, it don't matter. Oh, I got one. Oh, this dude was squirting people with a water gun driving by. He got arrested.
That's a crime. You can't do that. Or paintball.
Yeah, yeah, crazy. He's like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And boxer, here it is. Okay, Florida man found guilty of first degree deletion after shoving man he met earlier that day onto dock, then dumping his unconscious body into the marina where he drowned. Here's the video. It's crazy, right?
How's the guy drowned?
Yeah.
Oh, how he just drowned like that? Nala, what is your problem? Why did you bite me? What's the matter with you? What's wrong? Go use the bathroom. Go ahead. Go. Nala, go ahead. I'm not coming with you. Go. Because you done ate and you had water. I don't know why you're doing this. Go ahead. You better stop biting. I told you about that. What's the matter?
Yeah, I thought that was crazy.
How he just how deep is he couldn't even stand up right? That looks like the beginning. That's at the dock. So how he just fall under like that? He's an adult, so he's tall enough to stand up. That's not even that deep. Like he's not. I mean, it's just when you drown, you get the water in your lungs. But like he never came up. He was just underwater. But right at the dock, he could have stood up. I don't think it's that deep where he was. I don't know. Maybe it was because he just immediately went under.
Yeah.
You gotta learn how to float, or if you around the water, you need to put a floaty on. And see, and people play too much. You push people in the water. When I was younger, I almost drowned before I learned how to swim. I know how to swim now, and but you gotta at least learn how to. That's the first time. If you learn how to float, shit, you could drown even if you know how to swim. Because I almost one time because if you caught by surprise, like I jumped, I jumped in the water and like on the deep end, and I'm not that tall. I'm like 5'4" or whatever. So I panicked because I couldn't stand up. At first, for a second, my mind went blank and I panicked because my feet wasn't touching the ground. So I didn't think about swimming or going under and going back to the side where I could stand up. At first, it took me a second to gather my thoughts, and then I went under the water and went to the other side. But the people was about to jump in and get me. And they were like, "Oh, she was gonna get you, but you your girlfriend, your ex." So they were gonna, cause I was like, you were just gonna let me. She was like, you were struggling at first, but you figured it out. You swam back to the other side, so you were okay. She was about to jump in.
Mm.
That would have been embarrassing to get having to get they jump in the water to say. I mean, if you lucky, you want to be saved if you need it, but.
That's crazy.
But kids be playing too much. I mean, they was grown, even adults, they don't know what to do. You shouldn't be playing around the water if somebody don't know how to swim or whatever, like, cause you don't know what could happen. And if you do, then you better know how to swim and jump your ass in there and get them, cause you going to just drop them in there and what do you do? Walk away?
This lady, this girl, she was like an influencer. She convinced this lady that was mentally disabled to jump into this lake, and she recorded it. You seen that?
But they saved her. The cops came.
Yeah, they saved her though, but that's crazy. Like, how do you feel
Cause
about
she's
that?
like, she didn't know that the girl that the
Right.
lady was, but she
She
didn't know
didn't,
the
yeah.
lady. But that's what I'm saying. You don't know. You don't even know that lady. People play too much.
Just be kind, right? Just be kind. Um. Oh, so I did want to talk about a movie a little bit, but before I do that, I did have another topic. Oh yeah, and please meet us before next Sunday's show. Oh yeah, you already did say that. We're gonna be at the Black Wall Street.
That's okay. You can say it again. August 15th, this Saturday. Pull up. The downtown New Haven Green, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. Black Wall Street. So come out, have a good time. It's gonna be music. There's gonna be different vendors up. Just celebration of the Black experience. And this is like the fourth or the fifth annual.
I think it's the fifth actually. Could be wrong. I think it's the fifth. They've been doing this for a minute. They've been on it.
So please come check it out. It might inspire you. or support.
Yeah, from 12 to 8 p.m. on next Saturday. They've been having events down here this whole time. It's been crazy.
Yep, and check out Rotimi on Friday
Yeah.
on Longworth.
Dre from Power.
Dragon tails, dragon tails. You remind me of. That's not nice.
Spider-Man was lit. It was a good movie. Um, it's a tradition. I gotta go to the movies to see that particular movie. Obviously, look at my shirt. I'm a Spider-Man fan. Um, I don't know. That's just my guy. He always comes out on top. This one he was impressive. Um, the movie is definitely a good hors d'oeuvre before Doomsday. I definitely love it. Um, I'm a movie person. Just had a movie argument the other night. I like to present that argument to you. You never seen The Matrix, right?
Mhm.
You saw Terminator 2.
Probably, I don't remember.
You saw Terminator.
I said probably, I don't remember.
Okay.
I know what
Alright.
it is. Probably was on the TV.
What
before, but I
sci-fi
was
movie
young.
did you see that you really liked?
I don't know.
None
I have watched sci-fi movies, but I don't
that
know.
you really like?
I don't know. Name some.
All right. Mummy.
Mummy was good.
You like Mummy? Okay. Is that like the best?
It was good. I
It was
liked
good.
it. I
It was
watched
good
it
enough.
more than once. I don't know if it's the best.
You saw Independence Day?
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
Is that sci-fi?
Yep. You
There
saw
was no
Signs?
creep.
Yeah, the aliens was in it. They did show aliens. Did you see Signs with Mel Gibson? And
I know what
Joaquin
you're
Phoenix?
talking about, but
No?
I've never watched.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a scary one. Did you see The War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise? What do you think about that?
Okay. I only seen that. Like,
Was that exciting?
I don't really like end of the. It depends. Like if it's the end, then it needs to be
That was believable,
like
wasn't it?
what was the end of the world movie that I
The
really.
the movie with Tom Cruise, that wasn't believable.
I didn't say that it wasn't. I'm saying there had to be other stuff than just that's the premise. Like they need to put other things to make it more interesting. Like if it's a end of the world movie, like
There's some good ones.
like I liked, and I don't even like zombie movies, but I like Dawn of the Dead
Okay.
and 28 Days Later, and I liked what was that one where they were at the gas station? It was like a diner, Legion.
Legion, okay.
I like that, like because
That
it
was
was
more
different. It was like
spiritual.
yeah,
Evil,
and there was
even
other components of it than
supernatural.
just like there were other components that made it more interesting than just flat out okay, it's the end and this. And I don't really like creature like that was a creature for the world because them whatever come
Well, that
down
was
and
extraterrestrial life outside of this
yeah,
world.
I don't really like when it looks like it depends what it is. Like that was kind of
Have you seen any
cheesy. I
alien
think it should
abduction
have been
movies?
another. And is that the antagonist?
The
creature?
alien is trying to take over the world.
No, I'm saying what would you call that in the literature, like in the script? Would that be the antagonist,
The alien?
creature?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they should have a different type of. That's the issue that I have with it. That doesn't because of the type of creature.
So Species is okay. You seen
Species is okay.
Okay.
It's alright.
Another sci-fi movie. I don't know if you remember this. Eve of Destruction. Gregory Hines.
I never seen. I didn't even know he played in a horror movie.
It was Eve of Destruction was about a robot that they made. It was a lady. She was a scientist. She created a robot that looked like her, and it escaped and it went rogue and started doing combat like stuff. Johnny Mnemonic with
I think Denzel Washington and Keanu Reeves.
That movie with Will Smith.
Which one? I Robot.
No.
I Am Legend.
Hmm.
Okay, they were supposed to be vampires apparently, according to the comic book lore. That's what they said that they were.
That's a comic book.
I guess, yeah. You know, he was cast to do Matrix, and he declined it.
Who was he supposed to be?
Neo.
Who was that? Lawrence Fishburne.
No,
Who
Neo
was
is Keanu Reeves,
Keanu Reeves?
the one. Yeah.
Well, how does he feel about it?
I mean, I don't know. That would have been crazy for his career.
I
He
mean,
still did good,
yeah.
but imagine if he had that on his belt.
I mean, the only thing I would say is if his career went a different way and he wasn't successful, then it would be like,
Right.
dang, you shooting yourself in the foot, but you
Right.
still successful in your own right. So
But
it worked
Keanu
out.
Reeves is like low key immortalized. Like Will Smith has movies that make you feel a certain way, but even Ali like is good.
They're both A-list.
I would associate him
so,
with Bad Boys more so than the
but
other.
there are movies that did better than that he started.
Yeah.
And he had a television series that was long.
Fresh Prince. Yes.
So
yes, that's right.
I think they probably around at the same level. It's not exactly. It is not much. It doesn't make much of a difference.
Earlier,
That
like
it
Speed
would be
was like really like a crazy movie from the beginning to the end. Like it was crazy. It was a roller coaster. It ended with a crazy phenomenal ending. And that Will Smith will give you the same impact. Imagine if he was in the Matrix. He never had a movie that could catch on with sequel quality. Except for Bad Boys.
And I only seen the second Bad Boy, the first and the second probably. Bad Boys. I didn't watch the.
Yeah, but Spider-Man was good. I mean, it was,
I'm gonna check it out.
He's a hero, y'all. He just really is. He's just that guy. He's that guy.
Who's that girl? La, 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 la.
All right, so
What's next on the docket?
um, I probably got some more topics, but we disabled for next time. I got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like working. I got this whole system. Yo, watch. I'm set up the backdrop. I was gonna. Well, we got our thing. So if we want with the Velcro, we could use it, and we could use it as a backdrop after we had our event. But it's got the date of the event up there, so I don't know. So I don't know if you want that, but that'd be cool though. But in any case, I do got some stuff. We got a Twitter now, so I'm gonna be putting stuff up there. We gonna work on a Facebook.
Add that link. Well, I'll add that link to the profile. So when you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see all our socials are linked there. Our Instagram, other YouTube accounts, and TikTok. So we can add if we can add an additional link. I don't know if there's a limit to how many links you can add, but it's at the top of our profile. If you go to the page, and it'll have a link there, and then it says 4 more links under. And if you click on that, it'll have the links to our other YouTube channel and social media. But thank you for tuning in to another episode of Get Lifted. 30 is the new 20. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell so you're notified the next time we post or go live. I'm Lahefa.
And I'm Smiley J.